Okay. Um, so hey, actually, I don't know. What am I supposed to call you? I have your Discord name here. Should I just call you Becton?
Yeah, just call me Beckton. That's good.
Okay. If that works for you, it works for me. It's nice to meet you. We've talked in Discord a couple of times, and I talked to Eli, your uh, coworker, co-founder. I don't know how you want to refer to him.
Yeah, he's one of our co-founders.
Okay. How many of there are you? There's a three people.
Yeah, so right now we've got a pretty small team. It's myself, Eli, and our other technical co-founder, Avi. And then we have another one of our friends actually working with us as a front-end developer. And then we have someone working with us as our marketing director, getting all that stuff going. So yeah,
Okay.
pretty lean, mean team. We make it happen.
And so I've streamed on your guys' platform a few times, politics.tv, um, which it's got like the interesting spelling. Who came up with the name and how to spell it? Just I've been a little bit curious.
Yeah, so it's kind of got a funny origin. I think we initially started this idea. This idea had been around, passed around between us for like since maybe like 4 years ago. And when we first started, it was actually like politics, like like the little tiny bug.
Oh,
Obviously,
that's
that's not a
funny.
very good commercial or palatable name. Yeah, it was kind of an inside joke among us. But that's not something you want to go live and go big with. So we're like, all right, well, we like the sound of it, but how can we how can we make it a little more usable? And so we're like, yeah, let's add an X. That sounds cool. That sounds hip. And it's a little tough to. He's always got to tell people politics with an X, but we think it's good.
Yeah, I think that it certainly fits like the digital landscape of how people kind of brand themselves. So um, that's pretty good. So you said you guys have been working on this for 4 years. I know that
Well,
last year.
not necessarily working. We, this it kind of
Certainly,
started out as
idea.
an idea. It kind of started out as an idea, yeah, and then we got started on it in like fully in 23.
Okay, yeah, I know. Last year, I think I streamed on the or I tried to stream on the platform one time, and you guys did the relaunch this year, and I did the vice presidential debate, or no, the presidential debate. Uh,
Yeah,
I covered on
the
there.
singular.
Yeah. Um, and I know I can tell from when I initially tried to get onto the website to now, you guys have put like a ton of work into it, and it seems to be like pretty user friendly now.
Yeah, so just a little backstory, I guess, about that. If you and your viewers might find it interesting, we originally outsourced basically all the development to some guys that we got recommended to by some friends. But long story short, we ended up getting burned. Kind of wasted 6 months on that, and as you well know, came out in like mid late 2023 with a pretty unusable product. So went back to the drawing board, redesigned it, re-architected it, brought in that other friend that helps us with development, and got it fully done and going. It's a pretty complex product, so it's just the two developers. They've done a really great job, but it took a lot of hard work to get to where we are now.
I gotta say, I feel for you. I had a tattoo done by somebody. It's covered up by this sleeve. Who recommended a friend of theirs, who I thought had the accolades that were given to me were obviously not true, and so I just keep my sleeve
Yeah.
over it for the most part. Yeah. Um,
Oh
so,
man. Well,
so it's
that's a little
rough.
worse than some outsourcers, but yeah.
Um, so just so people can get a little bit more comfortable with you, guy telling me where you guys are from and how you guys got interested in making a streaming platform dedicated to politics.
Yeah, sure. I'm from South Florida. Kind of near
Hey.
Fort Lauderdale, just north of Miami. And went to great high school down here. All my friends and I went off to college in different places. This was several years ago at this point. And, we've always been into politics ever since we were in high school, because we were in high school during that pivotal 2016, Trump election and when that really started coming into the zeitgeist. But I remember even being younger and, watching the election of Obama. And, I was supporting him at the age of like 9, 10 years old when he was getting elected. So that was kind of I've been, around somewhat for some cool political moments. And we really, went off to school and just found there was a void in the political media gap. We were too young to really care or be engaged with like cable news and a lot of that kind of mainstream talking heads. We liked reading political articles, but found it lacked the engagement. And we liked watching people stream political content on sites like YouTube and Twitch. But it felt like us like it really lacked the political community and the uniqueness that makes politics politics. Those sites just didn't accommodate for it, right? Because they're generic and they're for gaming. So we got together and we're like, this seems like a problem to us. Do other people have it? Well, we went out and interviewed over 100 streamers, and got their thoughts on this to make sure if this was really a problem. As it turns out, yeah, streamers had a problem too, right? That these other sites were genericized, didn't help build a great political community unless you were a big streamer and lucky enough to get partnered or anything. And there was a lot of heavy-handed content moderation and general toxicity, just things that don't work well for politics. And plus, research has shown that politics is a bit of a special discipline. It requires certain attributes and features or tools, if you want to call them, to make the discussion productive. And that's when we got together and we're like, we got together in late 22 and we're like, all right, we think this is a good idea. There's definitely a market for it from talking to people. It's going to be a very complicated thing, but let's build it. And we really came at this too of like, we don't want to just build this and bring people on here. We want to actually help better the political conversation in America. Because, along with everybody else, we've seen the increased toxicity and partisanship and all the negative aspects that have seemed to gotten worse as the years gone along. And so part of our mission is to reduce that. And yeah, all the friends that I mentioned earlier as co-founders, that's what you asked me the question on, all of them that we went to co-founders actually went to high school with. Well, we kind of dispersed ways for college and then got back together remotely on this. So two of them are kind of scattered around the country. We got one out in California, one up in South Carolina, but remote works so good nowadays, we're able to make it happen.
Sure. I agree that there's a lack of accommodation for political streaming. Like there's certain, I know like for Twitch, there's certain things that like I know I can't do, and I can only stream certain political things on YouTube. And then sometimes even I'll have to just stream it on Kick. Like for instance, if I wanted to debate somebody about vaccines, I could only do that on Kick. That would be like there's really no room for me to comfortably be able to do that even on YouTube without fear of getting like my channel getting a strike or something like that. This is something that I talked to with one of the co-founders privately a while ago. Because of the sort of accommodations, when I hear this, I was like, what's going to stop this site from turning into Rumble?
Yeah, that's a great question because, as you're well aware, Rumble now, to me at least, it's surprising that they're a political site, and yet they don't really have a whole lot of politically focused engagement features. It's almost like they took the exact blueprint for Twitch and put a bunch of people on it that happen to be streaming politics and kind of let it run free, and that's what we've seen. It's kind of a, obviously there's different perspectives along the ride. I'm not trying to generalize that at all. And I do think, Rumble can have its place for a certain kind of person, but it doesn't create a productive political conversation when you can't talk to people on the other side, or if they do try to join, they're just shouted down and shut out and marginalized. So there's a lot of ways that we're not trying to turn into Rumble. I think the first way is right now we're selecting streamers to bring on for their quality. Not necessarily how big their audience is. We're trying to find people that are on the smaller side, small to medium for sure, but have promise and, are really, so we can kind of build them up along us and, we can grow together. We're going to balance the conversation at first. We're going to bring on, people that are left-leaning and right-leaning and centrist-leaning and just balance the conversation for now. I'll be frank, as we get larger and try to keep that going, when we open this to the general public and allow people to actually start streaming, we're not just going to allow anybody to ever stream, but it will be more difficult to do this at scale. So we'll have to kind of come up with some new technical methods and features, right? Maybe you have to have engaged a certain amount, be a moderator on somebody's channel before. There's a lot of ways we could go about that. And that is something I worry about, but it's not a current problem for us. And the other way that we don't want to turn into Rumble is that, we've built features into the site to improve the political conversation. We have the political profiles that is transparent about where somebody's political leanings lie. We have those kind of engagement features. We're building some pretty innovative engagement stuff. I can't speak too much about it because we're still it's in development. Utilizing like AI and LLMs to kind of help that along and make it better. So we're building some of those features to revamp our explore section And we're going to launch a section where you can actually interact with other people and debate them like easily on the site as well. So everything we do is basically in service of, yeah, we're a live streaming platform, but everything we do is in service of making the conversation better.
Yeah, I know that when I some of the things that I talked to, or I don't know, it could have even been you too. I know that you guys plan, like you guys have a hand in organizing events on the site as well. Like it's at least last year when I talked to Eli, it seemed like you guys wanted to organize debates amongst people that you guys have streaming on there, which is I would say really good for small to medium sized creators because it can be hard to find somebody who you disagree with who wants to actually debate and get that set up. So it's very cool to see the platform actually taking an active part in setting those things up.
Yeah, yeah, we're absolutely. We've got some streamer debates coming up that we're going to schedule. Where we try to get like two people on, have them debate about a topic, but it's actually going to be moderated by me, so that
Oh,
it doesn't just turn into kind of a screaming match. Obviously, I'm not going to be as professional as like the presidential debate moderators because I'm not a TV personality, but really to try to bring them up and do it in a good way. I will say that we have a lot of other options for cool side events we could do, but at the same time, we want to let our streamers take the lead. For election night and especially the potential week coming after that we have coming up, we're going to feature on the homepage our left, right, and center, streamer base, so that we can have all three perspectives together, so everybody can get the full story all at once. And we're going to keep that going over the week after the election. I mean, who knows how long it'll take them to count the votes? So we'll see how long that goes. And yeah, I mean, we're always welcome to ideas from people too. If they have an event that they want, but they need someone to host it, that's obviously we're happy to find someone on the platform to do it. But we don't mind hosting stuff as well. I love being a part of the political conversation. I'm actually going to start up a stream myself every week talking about geopolitics and foreign policy. I just literally have not had the time in the past month to even do that. There's just been so much going on. So
yeah, and I gotta say to your credit, you said that you guys listen to the community. After I did the presidential debate on your platform, I kind of got a survey and I just sort of put in there, you guys could really use dark mode. It was there within like 2 weeks, which I thought was super cool. You don't expect, I certainly didn't expect to have my voice heard and have anything implemented from it that quickly. That was very, very cool.
yeah, no, we appreciate that feedback a lot, and yeah, big props to Christian, our front end developer, for getting that out so quickly and getting all the revisions done. Honestly, I think it looks great. It might even look better than the normal colors of the site. So we might have some
Dark mode always looks
more
better.
changes to make on there. But yeah, we really try to listen to you guys, and that was great feedback. So we appreciate all that, and we try to act on it too. Even as we get larger, right? One of my priorities is to listen to the people that make your company work. I've seen a lot of companies, to start to listen to people and then they get big and they don't, but I don't think that's the right way to do something. We always want to take that feedback into account and actually act on it. So we're going to keep doing that for as long as we're around.
Um, you said that you guys are, so you guys already relaunched, correct? Like the relaunch is like done, right? And now you're just moving on to improvements.
Yeah, so technically our relaunch is done as far as like the technical stuff and the design of the site. I do think that we'll end up probably doing a redesign of the front end of the site at some point next year, probably middle of 25. I don't want to make any promises, but we're really focused on getting the political conversation going this winter. We're also going to need to go out and raise more funding because we need to bring another team member or two on to help us rapidly iterate on improvements and bring more great features to the site quicker, because we're working as fast as we can and we're doing good stuff, but it's just such a big product that we need all the help we can get.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense. I also wanted to give you guys props too. The video quality was super good. Um, for you guys having just relaunched, and then the first time I had streamed on there, your video quality was phenomenal.
Yeah,
What's
thanks.
your max output?
We can't take all the credit for that. We made some optimizations, but so we work with a service called LivePeer. They're actually a distributed token based, so kind of crypto-esque distributed live streaming service. So they basically use like people's computers to power their live streaming distribution network, and they get paid out in tokens to do that. So basically, it has radically changed the game as far as live streaming. It reduces the cost of spinning up your own cloud service and running a CDN, a content delivery network, to serve all this really bandwidth intensive video, especially if you're doing high quality, like we are, not 4K, but even 1080. And it's reduced costs by like 5 to 10 fold. It's really amazing. And we've been one of their initial partners since they've launched. We've been testing it out since they launched. And one of the reasons why we kind of had an issue in 23 too was LivePeer wasn't quite there yet. They're there now for sure. They're doing awesome. And once again, I want to give them props because I know you're giving me props to listening to feedback, but they've been ultra responsive to us, and we're really glad to have them as a partner because frankly, they're what really makes this possible at least as far as an economic scale goes.
Sure, and that kind of leads into my next question too. Is that kind of quality going to be able to scale as you guys grow?
Yeah, so that's been one of the things that keeps us up at night, right? So when we start to grow rapidly, hopefully early next year, right? Or if we get the Reddit hug of death or something like that, we're always trying for that. Will it keep up with us, and can this be sustainable? And of course, the answer is if we're going to get, let's say we got as big of a platform as like, if we got almost as big as Twitch or something. I mean, that's obviously no. Because
Sure.
that scale is enormous, right? They have like millions of viewers watching at the same time. I have no doubt that LivePeer can grow with us. They can't go that big. However, we've been assured by them, and we've worked with their team to make sure that we can have up to like hundreds of thousands of people on the site watching at the same time, and the quality should be fine, and the stream should be fine. And that's due to really cool stuff they have on their back end, like dynamically pricing to bring. They basically, if it costs more if you're going to get paid more to do this transcoding and distribution, you're going to spin up your computer and hop onto the network at that time. Because a lot of these server farms or people like switch between what's the most profitable to deal with it. So they've got ways to deal with that scale. And I have nothing but good things to say about them, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess I would have to agree, having used it. What are you guys' plans for like the next, let's say, 3 months? What are you guys focused on?
Do you mean like technically feature wise or like a kind of event stuff? We've got a ton in both, but
I guess anything that would be noticeable to anybody who's going on there to watch. What would they notice in the next couple months?
yeah, so we've we got a lot of stuff coming up. I can't actually share details on every single bit of it because some of it we're still working out, like
Sure.
a deal with another company to actually put on. I will tell you, we've got some kind of interesting LLM powered stuff as far as real time news events and how you can choose to stream about that and feature that dynamically on the homepage. So that's gonna be really cool. I won't get into how we're gonna do that, but that's gonna be something that's gonna be really awesome. We're working on a mobile app as well. I can't say that'll be out in the next 2 months because those things always take longer than you think, but we needed to get that out there because even if you go onto like YouTube or Twitch's mobile site, it just doesn't even compare to their app. Even with millions of dollars and huge, great development teams, mobile websites just aren't great for live streaming. We're making ours as good as we can. We're actually about to push out a redesign to several of the mobile pages actually this weekend. So that'll be really exciting. It's going to be much better and very usable. And then as far as other stuff, we've got a few other features. We're going to redesign a few of the pages. We're going to add a few sections to the homepage. We are building in that social feature that I talked to you about where you can engage with other people. And we've also left some time on our roadmap open because we want to talk to streamers and see what they want. Do they want more robust analytics to track what they're doing better and see how their stream's doing and how they can grow? Would they like us to implement a sort of gamification where you can, track how much you streamed and maybe you get certain rewards for streaming a certain amount? There's all kinds of ways we could go. So I'll be honest, I'm probably going to pose a few of these options to the community once the election hullabaloo has died down and see what people want us to go with because, we've all those things we think would really add to the site. But even though I stream on the site sometimes, I'm not a full-time streamer. So we want to hear from the people that are.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know you guys. I know.
Last thing, we've also got a little bit of a chat rework in progress to make that a lot more dynamic and usable. So a lot on our plate, but we think we can get it all done.
Uh, I did notice that the chat was a little bit buggy, but by the end of my stream, it seemed like it had fixed itself. Um,
We fix those bugs. We're just we're never happy with how things are on the site.
sure.
I mean, the chat's like it's good right now. We fixed that issue, right, where messages were kind of sending out of order. That was a really odd thing, but our backend guy took care of that. We just want to make it more engaging, right? So right now, if you go into a chat on Twitch or Rumble, like, all right, you can go in there and you can chat in someone's message, you can reply to them, you can see their profile, but like, why can't you, like, you should be able to hover over somebody's name and see like a dynamic profile showing like what what they're thinking or what they're interested in, that kind of stuff. You should be able to open up like a way to engage with them while you're on the stream, maybe separate from the chat room, but not have to leave the page to do that. I mean, there's just so many different things. We
It's a
think you
pretty
should be
good
able to
idea.
react to people's messages. I mean, the options are endless, and that's one of the big things of live streaming is the chat. So we want to make it as engaging and useful to people as possible.
I actually think that's pretty interesting. So I'm assuming when you say hover over it, when I set up my profile, it asks me certain questions about my own political beliefs. So I'm assuming like if I hover over somebody, it would kind of give me like it would say like right wing, like biggest issue, like economics, like those questions, kind of things would pop up there. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Well, yeah, somewhat. I think we're going to give people the option if they want to show that on their profile and chat or not. We understand not everybody wants to show it. In fact, we actually, if you come on as a user, you don't have to fill out your political profile. We only, that's only a requirement for streamers actually, and you don't have to fill out all of it either. It is a core feature of the site, but you don't have to go into those issues if that's not something you're not willing to talk about publicly this time. People grow and are willing to talk about that later. But we're deciding on that because there have been some studies on partisanship, and speaking of the engagement and chat kind of thing, it has shown that if you're talking to somebody and it's anonymous as to who believes what from what side, research has shown that if you have a conversation with somebody where you don't know, like a one-on-one conversation, and you don't know what their politics are before you talk to them, and you guys have a structured topic to talk about, that actually reduces partisanship by a significant amount, like statistically significant amount.
That makes
So that's what
sense.
I was kind of talking about. That's what I was talking about that feature before. We'd love to have somewhere where you can click to go in and you'll get matched up to somebody else random, and you guys will get a topic, and you can talk about that.
Oh,
And
that's interesting.
kind of a prompt way. Yeah, because that way has been shown through. It was a study on Nature actually that proved that it reduces partisanship by a significant amount. So we're wrestling with that. We do need streamers to be transparent about where we are on the political spectrum,
Sure.
but we're thinking about how parents. We don't want to force people to be too transparent to where it causes issues. If that makes sense. So I'll be honest,
Even when
we're
I said
working
it, I
out the
imagined it
we're
would
still
have been
working on the
opt-in.
details. Yeah, it's definitely going to be opt-in. We the whole philosophy of our site is we want to ensure a productive conversation. So there's definitely some guardrails, but we also want to empower our streamers and their moderators and our users to create that productive conversation themselves and not have the, really arbitrary limitations that some of these other sites like YouTube and Twitch seem to have. We definitely don't want to turn into a Rumble, but we want to be somewhere in the middle, where we have a great conversation and we allow people, to express themselves.
Yeah, one of the so I don't know if this is still the same, and I'm gonna quote the last conversation that I had too, because I really liked the answer. When I asked Eli, what's to stop you guys from becoming Rumble? Because I was a little bit weary about making any kind of commitment to a platform that was just gonna end up turning into like a far right cesspool in like 3 months, which was kind of my
Yeah.
fear. And he said that it was like the kinds of decisions that would be made about like what is acceptable and unacceptable was going to be community driven. Like the streamers on there were going to have a fair bit of control over that. So it seemed like there wasn't a big fear of people who uh, people. I guess I just want to qualify this before I say it because I don't. Because it seems like when free speech is emphasized, it tends to end up being heavily right leaning. So it seemed like if everybody sort of had a say from the community, then it didn't seem like people on the left were going to get pushed out by like free speech absolutionists, like libertarian far right kind of groups. And I found that to be a pretty comforting answer. Is that still where you guys are looking for guidance from when you're making those kinds of decisions about like what's acceptable on the platform?
Yeah, definitely. And I'll be honest, we kind of put that stuff on the back burner as far as, we were thinking about actually transforming politics into a DAO, right, where the community could completely control everything and, like decide pretty much everything that goes on with it. As we did more research into it and found out the strengths and limitations, and of course the fact that, the crypto DAO thing sometimes has negative connotations, at this point, not everybody's really on board with that. We decided to move against that. We still do want to introduce some features to allow like community style moderation. Whether it's something like I remember when I used to play League of Legends years ago, they had a tribunal thing, where you could review people's chat messages and the community would decide what was okay or not. We definitely don't want to go like exactly there, but modeling something on that kind of style could be a great benefit to the community. And beyond that, like I said, right now, we're making sure the conversation is productive and we're trying to be as unbiased and neutral as possible. And, having the community we have, if we're going to get something wrong, we'll listen to people. If they tell us, hey, you guys got this wrong and we don't think that's okay, we'll listen to them. We're more than willing to accept feedback and change based on that. But yeah, we have no plans to transform into a DAO right now, although we are exploring other options for community governance.
That makes sense. I know it's certainly a balancing act. Not too dissimilar from the League of Legends thing. I had a pretty large Magic the Gathering community that I ran, and it was out in the middle of nowhere. But we had like 20 to 30 people who would show up, and I started taking votes what kind of events we would have, and that was like the end of it. It got really, really bad because people who didn't get their way, like they would get really butthurt about it, and then more or less try to sabotage things because they didn't get their way. So there's quite a balancing act to listen, like giving people a voice, but not making them feel like they have that kind of power, not giving away too much of the power of controlling the community. So I think what you're saying seems pretty smart to me. I guess you just have to,
Yeah.
and I haven't seen anything that would lead me to think that you guys are doing a good job. I guess you just have to show the community that you are on their side by the way that you guys moderate. But it seems, I gotta say, everything seems pretty unbiased. Like you said, you're featuring right, left, and center people. It seems equally. Is that
Yeah, we
hard to do?
Yeah, it can be because, as we mentioned before, right? Rumble has snapped up a lot of the a lot of the conservatives, including the small ones. And to be clear, there's a lot of people on Rumble that wouldn't be a good fit for our platform. I'm not saying that, but there are some people that would be a good fit in our platform and are small and are creating great content, and they're on Rumble, and we are reaching out to them and trying to show them, hey, this is what you're missing out on by not engaging with the other side, right, and just being on this side. We're going to the people that are a little more moderate on there, I'd say, for sure. But we're trying to get some of that too because we think they're missing out as well, actually. And having a productive conversation politically, you've got to have people from all sides on there. And so, just as we definitely don't want to turn into a total only right leaning people on our site. We definitely don't want to turn into only left leaning people on the site either. We want to have a balanced conversation as much as possible. And yeah, it's difficult. I think that's difficult. Another thing that's difficult is making sure that people uphold the truth on our site. That people are trying as hard as possible to be accurate. We don't want people on the site that are just there to spread clickbait and try to get views. At the same time, a lot of things that people will say is like, oh, blatant untrue, and he was lying is something they saw online and they truly believed was happening. So it's very hard to differentiate from those kinds of things. But we've got a few tools up our sleeve as we get bigger that we'll implement that will help us with that. Right now, I'd say the way we're making this easy-ish for our small team to tackle is we're bringing on people that are starting with quality. If you start with quality streamers, that attracts quality viewers, and that makes the conversation great. And we don't have to do as much moderation if it's naturally a better conversation to start with. So that's kind of our thoughts while we're small, and we know it's going to become an issue as we get larger. We'll start tackling that as we get big.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's kind of interesting that you're saying that you want to stay away from the clickbait. That's how you get people to watch though too. I usually don't do that, but I've had a couple
Yeah, well,
clickbaity thumbnails that paid off pretty good.
I should clarify. When I say, I don't really mean clickbaity. When I say that, what I really mean is we don't want people that are just lying to get engagement farming. I think I saw a video the
I
other day
see.
that was like Trump gets shot for the third time, and it's like I don't even think he got shot twice. Oh, we don't want that kind of stuff to get
I
views on
see.
our site because that's just blatant falsehoods. But of course, we understand better than anything that while we try to be neutral, we want to be engaging and have an engaging voice. And it's very hard to straddle that boundary of being neutral while still being engaging and engaged in politics because we like politics too. We don't want to just be some neutral corporatized platform with no voice and no soul. We want to be a part of this too. We want to engage. So that's what we're really trying hard to make a balance of.
Yeah, that makes sense. And unfortunately, misinformation is sexy. Trump getting shot for the third time does make I would probably click on that, even knowing that it's not true. Like, what do they even mean? And then I'm gonna click on it, and
Yeah,
then I'm gonna watch it and get mad because they're lying.
yeah, exactly. So I
Um,
did too. I'm not ashamed to admit.
I know you said you got to get going here. Can before you go, can you I guess give people what you think the reason that they should tune in during the election to politics .tv. Like I know I'm going to be live streaming there from 7 to 11 p.m. as votes are coming in. Um,
Yeah.
so what would you say is the reason that people should come watch people like me or people on the right or the center that are going to be covering the election on that day?
Yeah, aside from watching you, which, frankly, that should be enough reason in its own. But beyond that, we're, like I said, we're going to have all the perspectives right there. And they're all going to be from smart, engaging creators that really want to cover the election well. And so, when you get tired of seeing CNN check out the, 1% in polling states for the millionth time, right? And talk about things that don't necessarily matter, come on to politics to hear a slightly different take. All of our creators have slightly different takes about things, and they all have areas of specialties and areas of knowledge that they delve a lot deeper into than the big channels that tend to talk about the same thing all election night. And I can say that because I've watched election night, and I enjoyed it. It's a fun thing, but for me, it was a lot more fun watching it on the alternative video sites than it was on the big news sites. So, and plus, if you want to support our mission of improving the political conversation, reducing partisanship, and making politics fun and enjoyable again, come hang out with us for an hour and engage with our streamers. Tell us what you think. And also, if you're someone that comes and watches election night and you're like, yeah, I really want to stream on the site, send us an email. We're always taking on new people. We're about to launch a brand new partnership program to bring people on and get them streaming regularly. So we're really excited about that. And election night's kind of the launch of that. So we're going to have a lot of great streamers, a lot of great viewers, and hopefully have a fun time watching whoever wins win or waiting 7 days for Arizona to count their votes. We'll see.
Fair enough. Right. Well, I appreciate you giving me some of your time. It's nice to have met two-thirds of your team now, and I have a lot of confidence in what you guys are doing. I've seen you guys improve dramatically even in the last couple months, and I look forward to streaming more on your guys' platform.
Yeah, thanks, Elder. It means a lot to us, and I appreciate you having me on here. I always love talking with streamers.
All right. Is there anything else you wanted to say before I let you go? I think I did pretty good at keeping to your time. I'm usually not that
Oh
good at
yeah,
that.
you're yeah, yeah. Well, hey, when you're running a stream, it's always good to be running over versus too short, give people more content. But no, that's about it. We'd love for people to come on and check us out. It's politics.tv, POLITIX. Come on election night, hang out with us, watch some great streamers, and maybe you'll decide to stay around and keep coming back to us after. We're gonna have a lot of great content coming up after that and in the future as well.
All right. Well, again, thank you very much, Becton. Thank you for August Alpha membership. Uh, I look forward to seeing you. I'm gonna watch your stream when you do. Actually, when is the first time you're doing that stream?
I'll let you know. I haven't fully decided. I wanted to get it out late next week, but I think the election's going to drag on for too long. So probably the week
Okay.
after. But I'll throw it in our Discord once we get that set up.
All right. Well, have a great night.
Yeah, thanks, Elder. Great talking to you. Take
You
care.
too. Bye. I hope their site goes well. Check it out after work. I don't know if there's people regularly streaming on there right now or not. I know that they have like I think they're really focused on the election. Like I'm going to be covering the election exclusively from there. Just full disclosure, they're. Oh wait a minute. I got. Oh yeah, I'm not in there. Oh cool. I'm just like not in the channel anymore. They're paying me to exclusively stream on their site for the election because, like as they said too, if you're exclusively on there, then you're not going to be able to get like your donos and stuff from Twitch or YouTube or wherever you're streaming from, and it's like a bigger night for politics streamers. So I can't say no to the payout that they're giving me. So I won't be here or there. So hopefully, if you check out the website, you do check it out on election night. I'll be there from 7 to 11 p.m. Also, now that I did that interview, I have there was a YouTube viewer of mine, somebody who watched a lot of the Mr. Girl Destiny stuff. They wanted to talk to me. I'm going to reach out to them. Um, they wanted to talk to me. They had some disagreements with how I covered it. I guess they really liked the streams where I had talked to Destiny about the subreddit stuff. They said that like the contrast between me in that conversation versus me covering the end of the bridge burning, they were pretty disappointed. And I said, hey, if you have any disagreements with me about it, you can come on and talk to me. And I think that's what they want to do today or tonight. But let's see, can I get this up there? There we go. But I think that it's possible that maybe I wasn't at my best. I covered that like literally days after my wife left, so it's possible that they have some valid points. Um, I don't know. We'll have to see. Let me see if they didn't get back with me yet. And it's possible, I guess, then it's possible that they don't end up getting back with me tonight, and I end up having to talk to them later. Give me one sec. I gotta grab beverage. Oh, there. But I hope that they come through tonight. I'm kind of excited to talk about it, and I know in the near future too. I guess I haven't talked about this on stream. I'm gonna probably talk to Ruby, somebody that Smith talked to a couple times about Mr. Girl and maybe some stuff about mental health. We've DM'd a little bit, and I was on her show like a day or so ago. She was reviewing Sam Backman and Mr. Girl's conversation about narcissism, and I was like, oh, I should try to work my way into this because I don't see nobody covering Mr. Girl stuff. And I think she's kind of undecided on him. Let's see. 10-4, I should be free. Okay, that's the last thing I heard from them is that they should be free around this time. I don't know if you're still here, Froggy Style, but when the full spoilers come out for the new Magic set, I'm going to go over them since I know that's something that you're interested in. I've seen a few things here and there from Foundations, and the set's crazy. And the fact that it's a standard set and it's going to be in standard for 5 years seems totally bonkers to me. I was talking to Lethy Waterkai, who's another big time Magic player. It feels like more like a Modern Horizons or like Eternal Math. It feels like a master set. I don't know if you haven't been playing long enough to know what those are, but it's like when they reprint like a bunch of expensive cards and it's a premium product that costs more money to buy. Foundations feels like that, but like somehow even more pushed with even stronger cards. The new cards that are in it are crazy. There's some really good reprints. It looks like one of the, as far as like power level and playability goes, it seems like one of the best sets in a really long time. Um, it might, it probably on par with Throne of Eldraine, which is the best set in like a really long time. Well, I guess Modern Horizons 2 is the best. It doesn't seem, I don't think it seems that strong because Modern Horizons 3 basically changed everything, every format. Yeah, I want to go over and review spoilers from the set before it drops, but we don't have the full spoilers out yet. I invited Leafy to come on and talk to me about some of the cards. Like I sent him a couple of cards that I've seen, and just being on Twitter, like I can't avoid it entirely. But I'm going to go into reviewing the spoilers as fresh as I can. But just by virtue of how my social media is set up, I'm going to run into some cards here and there. And from what I've seen, it's just nuts, like absolutely crazy. Uh, like there's a black board wipe that is one of the best board wipes I've seen. I think as far as Commander goes, it's probably it's but it's, I don't know if I can think of. I mean, it's not strictly better, but like for 5 mana, you make is it each player? I'm pretty sure each player sacrifices 13 creatures. So it gets around indestructible and stuff too. It's super good. Definitely seen some cards I want to add to my mono white mouse deck. Yeah, mono white mouse. Do you play paper at all, or is it all on arena? I wish we had more people interested in Magic here because I'd love to do the community challenges. Um, like insofar as like challenge to like build a deck with certain kind of restrictions, or even like people so like I bet you can't beat my brawl deck, things like that. Those would all be really cool things to stream and have like community interaction with because I really like Magic. Um, but most of the people are here from for like politics or like maybe specifically like mrgirl adjacent content and no IRL MTG friends. I understand because like I do, but effectively I have none. Since like the pandemic really destroyed the scene where I lived, and then when I went to go play places, it seemed like the people that used to be there weren't there anymore, so it just feels weird. Um, I do recommend this though. If you go to your local game store and just ask when they have things, go to a draft or something. Drafts are the best way to get started because you'll get cards. Um, and if you tell people that you're new and that you've only ever played on Arena and stuff, in my experience, Magic is an extremely good community for helping out new players. People might even give you some cards to help you out. The card shop might give you some free stuff too. Um, I think they stopped giving them out to card shops, but even like Pandemonium's the biggest card shop in the state of Michigan. They still had some left over. They used to give out to the card shops they're like booster packs, but they're seated like everything is exactly the same. Like, pardon me, they had one for like each set for a while, and each one would have like a rare card, a mythic card, a planeswalker card, and like all of them from like what's it called, like the Innistrad Werewolf set. Like all 15 cards are the same out of each pack, and like there was one for like one of the last core set they did. All the cards are the same in each one of those packs, but it's a great way to get some free cards and stuff. And if you play draft, you'll build a collection as you're playing in those events. But honestly, your local card shop probably has a commander scene. Um, there's probably a night where people just come in and play commander, and it's like pretty loosey goosey. You don't have to pay to play. You can pick up a pre-con commander deck and just start playing with people. I really recommend that. I did go and play commander at my local game store not that long ago, and I had a lot of fun. It was pretty easy for me to find a pod and just start chatting and talking to people. It's pretty easy to get along with Magic players because you probably have some kind of nerdy overlap. And once I found like a good card shop, it seemed like everybody kind of had like similar inside jokes. Well, not like inside jokes, but like the same kind of like there's like shared knowledge of other nerdy things. So it was like easy to make like kind of nerd centric jokes and people would just get it and stuff. It feels good to be around people that have like overlap with you, just like without really having to like ask anything to figure it out. You just sort of figure out where people are at. And that's one of my favorite things about playing Magic in real life. Let me see if this guy got back with me. He's still didn't get back with me. I'll hold out for a while for him though. I'd like to. I'd really like to have this conversation. Okay. Also, too, if you ever want to play on Arena, Froggy style, you can hit me up on Discord. Or Did we play? I can't remember last time. Did I just test out the deck? You can certainly add me on Arena if you'd like, and send me a challenge sometime. Really, anytime. Uh, Sounds like something my socially anxious ass should try. Yeah, I think that it seems really daunting, but this is another thing too that Magic communities are really good at making people feel comfortable. I do think that there's some areas where it needs to do better. I think that Magic needs to be more accommodating towards women and minorities. But the places that I've seen, that I've been a part of, are pretty good about it. But I've definitely seen some extra effort have to be taken. There's a lot of like, I'm not a big fan generally of the term like microaggressions, but uh, I have seen like basically microaggression towards women a lot in the Magic community. Like when people play against women, I'll notice like they'll ask a lot like, "Do you know what this does?" Or like at pre-releases, they'll just give them the win and things like that, which can also be insulting. And I've also seen people get like really, really outwardly salty and shitty when they lose to women. Uh, I actually had to my first time running events at a store that I worked at. I had to pull this guy aside and tell him if he didn't stop talking about the stuff he was talking about, I was going to kick him out. He's like being super loud and misogynistic, and this one guy even just came up to me like I didn't know what he was talking about. I was playing a game, and there ended up being a dispute between the two of them. And I was like, dude, like if you don't stop, I'm gonna have to make you leave. This is crazy. And then we had to end up putting up signs. The owner decided to put up signs that said, "You can't talk about politics at all." There, it basically his politics was all like red pill, anti-women shit. Um, And I kind of felt bad for the guy. He told me, he's like, "I'm sorry, man. I've just been, since COVID, this is the first time I got out of the house. And I've just been watching a lot of videos and I just want to talk about stuff I was watching videos about." So it seemed like he just sort of got like trapped into the red pill space and then it was just like spewing it out there, which is just a terrible place to do it. uh, I watched Smeth's new video. It really funny. I really liked it. It was good. I also, I just bought Black Ops 6. and I really like the zombie mode. I feel like I feel like a lot of nerd-esque communities have an element of that. Yeah, I would say so. Um, I would say that Magic is probably better than most. It's just that, and like, especially, I've watched since I started playing Magic to like today, I've seen a huge uptick in like more positive behavior towards women and more women playing. And the thing that I've noticed the biggest jump in when I've played Magic is I've seen women playing that weren't there with a boyfriend. Like they're playing just because they like to play. I would say when I first started off, every woman that played the game was there with her boyfriend. And like even like when I brought my wife with me and she played, it was that case too. So obviously, but now you'll just see like uh, it's gotten a lot more diverse. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh man, hang on. What women's play? It's gotten better. And then, oh, um, and one of the downsides to that kind of thing happening is I've played at events before. Um, when women show up to play Magic and they're only sometimes it would be the case that they're only there because like you could tell that like that their boyfriend had pushed them to play, and then like but they do this really shitty thing where they give them the most dog shit deck. Like I know they're playing a real deck that they spent money on. They give them a dog shit deck to play just so that like they could also be playing, and like that's not going to be fun for them either. Um, like it would be the kind of thing where if I had an extra deck on me, it's like I'm never going to build like a bad deck just to have around ever. Like it'll be at least tournament playable. Like you'll have a chance. I would just be like, hey, uh, like you can borrow this deck. Don't play that. It's garbage. And one time I went to an event and I got like it's really funny. I got dead last place at this event, and I even lost to what I would just call like a girlfriend deck, like the guy who just like gave his girlfriend like a terrible deck that like nobody would ever play ever, and I lost to that too. I lost every single match. I was the only one that didn't get like a prize pack, and I think my wife got like third at that event. And I was like really upset that I lost to that. Not that I lost to her, but I lost to that terrible deck. I just had like bad draws or whatever. But then the day after that was a PPTQ, so it was like a pre-Pro Tour qualifier. It was like a qualifier to get into the qualifier, to where if you got like top four in that, you get into the Pro Tour. Um, Going into top eight of that event the very next day, I was in first place with no match losses. Playing an Eldrazi standard deck that I brewed, that I built out of spite because none of the standard players could tell me why nobody was playing Eldrazi when they were legal. I was like, why isn't anybody playing it? They're like, well, because of this, that. I was like, no, those are all bad reasons. I think it'll be good. And it was good. I got in fourth place. My buddy Donovan beat me, and then he lost to, and actually, a chick won that. He lost to a woman in the finals, and I was super mad that he beat me because I beat that deck four times going into top eight. I was like, you should have lost to me so I could have won it. And I wasn't as mad. I wasn't mad at all that she was a woman that won, but I was really mad that she was from Ohio. She came to Michigan to play in our event, and somebody from Ohio took our local game stores first place. That's done. Oh, oh, I'm gonna change the title on the streams real quick. they have arrived. Let's see. Um, yeah, let's see if they're in there. Oh yeah, I should mention that too. Oh, you know what? I can actually do them a favor and invite them. Okay, it should be cool. Okay, let's see how you found it.
You there?
Yep,
I'll be. How's it going?
it's going good. I just interviewed a guy from politics.tv, one of the co-founders.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They're
Politics?
paid. Yep, politix.tv. It's like a streaming platform dedicated to politics only.
Hmm.
And they kind of have a heavy hand in who's streaming on the platform right now. And they have like events where they invite the streamers that they have on their roster to do. Like on election night, they're paying me like $140 to stream for 4 hours exclusively on there. And they're going to feature me for 2 of the 4 hours on their front page. So
Nice. Okay.
they're pretty cool to the streamers that are working with them while they're starting off.
Can't beat that.
No, I want to be transparent that they're paying me about it, but their video quality too, very good. They gave me like $35 to do the presidential debate and then to like fill out a feedback survey. And they one of the things I offhandedly mentioned is like you guys should have dark mode, and they put in dark mode in like 2 weeks,
Huh.
which is I don't know if you're like me, not having dark mode can make a website like completely unusable.
I don't trip about stuff like that at all.
Yeah, I didn't used to be, but now that I'm accustomed to it, like a website that has a lot of white on it, it just kills my eyes.
Yeah. Ironically, I spend most of the day in front of a computer anyways. I probably should look at using dark mode because my eyes, and I get these headaches. They're just blinding.
It is a game changer. You can actually get an extension for Chrome that will make a non-dark mode website dark mode. But once you switch on, it'll go back.
You said something about them paying you. Are they considered neutral?
Yeah. So they have like on election night, they're going to be featuring me as a leftist streamer. They're going to be featuring a centrist streamer and a right-wing streamer. That's one of the things that I like about them too, is that they're really dedicated to being non-biased, non-partisan. Like their mission goal is to like try to combat partisanship. And
See, I don't know that I would like have to put it out there that you're getting paid from like as long as they're really neutral. Now, if like sites are like the whole, what was the Woo thing?
Political victory.
Yeah, that's the one. Like where
I put it out
like,
there on purpose, though. That's more my own like morals.
Right. No, I get it, but if it was like very slanted one way or the other, then yeah, I think you should be saying that because it's kind of like they're advertising in a sense for that, or campaigning, politicking, however you want to say it.
Sure,
but
they also they've never asked me to like they paid me to cover the the debate, but they didn't give me any direction whatsoever. They didn't say you have to do it this way or anything like that.
That's nice.
Yeah, if they
Huh.
did that, I might just not do it.
Yeah. Yeah. If they like don't give you any like sort of direction or anything, like then like it's not really anyone's business in my mind. But transparency is almost never a bad thing.
Yeah, and also too, if I didn't feel this way, and I do think that the criticism about like Wick and Brianna Wu, I think that there was people who felt like that he wasn't upfront about it because like I knew about it before, which is I guess I don't know. Like I think you just found me recently, I think. So I don't
Yeah,
think
but
that you would have seen that I
I,
had Wick come on to talk about it. There was like a big thing on my stream. It was like one of the most um, almost like drama coveragey things that I ever did, but it was just because I felt like uh, I wanted to give Wick a chance without somebody. It just seemed like I was a good arbiter because I just cared about um, getting it cleared up.
sure.
Really,
Yeah, I watched some of it. Not on yours. I obviously saw you the with Destiny, the whole the pre interrogation of mrgirl and
mm,
so so then when I see stuff like that, I just kind of like any while I work, I just listen to stuff. I rarely watch. I just listen,
I
and
do that a lot.
that's why my what's that?
I do that a lot. Like I play League a lot, and I listen to political videos while I play League, so that way I get extra mad.
That's why the my comments about the using the mute button, because
Yeah,
when you're listening and you're not like what like anything that isn't just voice, it just is like kind of jarring when you hear it and you're like, what is that? But yeah, I actually started watching your coverage or your it's recoverage, right? Like you just
I call
went
it an
back
analysis. Yeah,
analysis of like
Mr. Girl and
the
Destiny interactions.
yes, like almost all or a fair amount of them. I
Every
think I
single one
watched
of
like
them.
two or three. You have covered every single one of them?
Yes, I'm a big Mr. Girl
Yeah.
guy. In case you didn't notice,
No, I caught that. And I like
but I'm also a big Destiny fan too. I'm a huge fan of
yeah,
Destiny.
I I was more before the his the assassination attempt and the comments after that. I really just kind of was like I don't I'll be honest, like I'm pretty right wing. I'm not like I'm not but I don't like Trump. And we're really it really kind of sucks. Like in one hand I'm liberal and I talk with my buddies about this all the time. Like it's hard to explain. Like I'm pretty socially liberal. Like I don't really care what people do. I used to be way more capitalist than I am now. Big business has really kind of screwed up a lot of things, and it just sucks. But um,
It
his
sounds like
comments, like, go
you
ahead.
libertarian.
No, not really libertarian. I used to be like I would consider myself a conservative, but I I don't like. I'm not a Trumpian. I'm not a MAGA.
Sure.
I don't like I don't like any of them, to be honest. But
Do you
but
feel
I'm
like
not like
your party got
libertarian.
stolen?
I mean, I don't know that I would say it was ever my party.
Well,
Like I, I don't
I
like
had a
any of it. I
boss who
don't.
had that.
You have what?
I had a so I used to work at it was like a retro video game and like board game and like card game shop. It was just
Hmm.
like a nerd central kind of place. And the first day I worked there was like the only time I ever really like casually talked with my boss, and he brought up politics. He said, "Yeah, I was a card carrying Republican for 35 years." I said, "What happened?" And I've never seen like an adult man look so defeated in casual conversation. He's just like Trump. Like it's not like he
Yeah,
could just like it crushed him, and like I without him saying it, I could tell he felt like the party that he supported for 35 years was stolen from him, and it really like it hurt his feelings.
yeah. I mean,
Hey
it
Xander,
doesn't hurt my feeling. It's just like like Trump isn't. a Republican or a conservative or right. Like he's like a billionaire real estate guy from New York. Like, what are we talking about? Like, it's not even the same thing. And like, aside from that, it's just there's just so much to it. And like Bush wasn't, but the Bushes weren't bad. Reagan's cool, but like, and I know that no one's going to support everything. Whatever, but like, it's also the age thing.
Sure.
It's getting, you know, like, well, and then I talk about age thing, and then I look at like Biden. Like Biden is still our president, and like he's not even like senile. He's not even like cognizant of what's going on. I don't understand how that's been left to just, oh well, it's almost done. But for like the last 3 months or 4 months, when did Kamala announce, or when did Biden drop out? Like 3 months ago, something like 2 months ago.
Right. It was like a week after the debate.
I don't watch it because
I don't remember.
You know, like 2 months ago, probably let's just say 2 months. But
It
like
feels
for the
it
last
feels
2 months,
like 2 months.
yeah. So for 2 months, like our president is clearly not like with it, and we're just like
He probably has
like,
good
that's
days and
just
bad
fine.
days. Like the best like good faith analysis of it is that he probably has good days and bad days. He obviously has something going on.
Right.
But I'm sure he's not like always like that. Because we've seen him. Like he's had some moments where like I think he knocked it out of the park. And he's been like really sharp. He had some like the Dark Brandon memes came from him like being sharp with reporters and stuff. And so like obviously he's got something there, but I think that just the nature of how your mind goes, you just have bad days, which isn't good for a president. Which is not good.
Well, yeah, he should never. I mean, in all fairness, like he should never have days where you're trusting this man with the fate of our entire country. And like, what if he has a bad day when like North Korea decides to like really like ramp up tensions and do something crazy, and he just starts blurting out like he doesn't know what year it is, and you know what I'm saying? And like, I understand we have the cabinet and
Yeah, I
Congress and
think
all these things,
yes.
but still, it's just not right.
No,
At
I'm
the end
with
of
you
the day,
on
it's
that.
not. Yeah, and it's just not. It's just one of those things. It's like, come on, like something
That's
should have been done. It should be done.
I agree. And well, in
Yeah.
all fairness too, Trump has definitely shown his senior moments too. They just kind of get so that's the big problem with the left right now is that they're outraged about everything that Trump does. And instead of having like we need to start letting a lot more stuff slide, especially if he gets reelected, we need to start just shutting up and waiting for like some like I think that the senior moment kind of stuff is going to be the things that they should really attack him on because they just get lost in the sauce. Trump has definitely said some stuff that shows that his faculties aren't all there, and we
Right.
just don't remember it because he also says things that make us go like, "The fuck did he just say? Are you serious?" Like those are the things
Right.
that we should talk amongst ourselves about. And we should be making a big stink publicly about things that can show to his side. You can love him, but let's love him into a nursing home.
Yeah. The way that the right forgives everything that he does is also frustrating. And I again, I'm not a Trump guy. Like, and
Yeah,
it really kind of sucks and there's a lot of us that are that side of the aisle, but we don't like Trump. And I'm not. I just wish there was like a younger. I mean, I don't want to dox myself, but it doesn't. I guess it doesn't matter. I'm from Indiana, and Pence was a great governor, like great, and like he kind of got shafted, but if memory serves, he's not like 75 years old, or Trump's what, 77, 78. Like, why
yeah.
he got now, and now he's out of the pollution. Like I don't even know what he's doing now, but like we need people that are like they're not in their 70s running this country. Period.
Honestly, Pence is probably one of the few people that could have ran against Trump. I don't think he would have gotten it, but I think he's like the only person that could have even had a chance of running against him for the Republican ticket because he stopped
Maybe.
him. For the people,
Yeah.
for the people that are still going to support Trump despite January 6th, I think he could have gotten done,
Well,
which could have weakened his chances at running afterwards. It would have emboldened those people that were um, kind of they would have been on the fence between him and Pence, or the people that would have preferred Pence, because he would have said some really dumb shit about January 6th if Pence was running against him.
Yeah, potentially. And the sad thing is that most people that I talk to don't even really understand the levels that Trump tried to go to kind of steal things. The election, I guess, is the way to say that. And I think even if they did know, I don't even know that they would care. Like a lot of my friends, they care. They're like, yeah, but most like mainstream people, they just let him do whatever he wants, and
I
I
think a
just
lot of
can't.
Republicans can't know. Like you could show them proof, and they would immediately assume that it's a lie. Like they would integrate it into their system as like fake news.
I think that I think if it depending on the source, maybe. I think if like it's like one-on-one conversations that like I have with my friends, like just the other day talking with a buddy, and this guy was a lot more left than I was, and then he's actually moved for the right, and like like I explained to him, and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Dude, just look up like these things, right?" And he was like, "No." And then he sent me a text later. It was like, "Dude, I didn't even know it was like that." So like if it's coming from like I don't a lot of the mainstream stuff is just I don't even really watch. To be honest, I don't even watch a lot of it because I don't. I'm a single dad and I don't got time for all that. But like, yeah, it's yeah. Man, to the original point though, I was watching your coverage of the bridge burning one specifically.
Yeah.
Dude, you went completely off the rails on that one.
And I said this before you came on too. It's possible that so I'll give you a little disclaimer about it. It's possible that I wasn't. I know for a fact that I wasn't on the top of my game. This was like right after, like days after my wife left me, and I was just
I
kind of
thought that.
streaming to get
Yeah.
like I needed money bad just to stay in the hotel I was at. Uh, my
Oh
wife
wow.
left me,
Okay.
and because of that, I took off of work and I even sent them an email saying like, look, if it comes down to like I have to come in right now or I'm gonna get fired, I'll come in. But like I'm not. I got stuff to figure out. I'm not in a good place right now. I need a couple days, and they're just like, now you're fired. So like I needed money, so I had to stream. So even though I probably shouldn't have been streaming right then, but um, I'm willing to hear the criticism, and if I do agree with my takes, I'll still back them up right now.
Yeah, so specifically, and my headphones just died. I need to go grab the other ones, but I'll get them in a second. Specifically, I noticed so like how to phrase like it's I should have wrote stuff down, and I don't do this like
No
the first
worries.
time I ever called into anything, and it's the what do they call it like the shower arguments. When do you know what I'm talking about? Like when you make it like
The
you
shower
have
thoughts.
yeah, or however they when like you have a conversation and then you rethink it as you're taking that morning shower, and all
Yeah.
the things yeah. So the specific one that I like just right off the bat was
Oh, are you thinking or did is your phone cut out or something? What happened? Hello, hello. What happened here? I sent him a text. He said he had to go get his other headphones. He might have switched them over, and they might not be working with Discord. I'll message about that. If you switch headphones, you might have to into. Oh, hello. I heard a sound. Hello, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Did you have
Sorry,
to reselect your device? Did you switch headphones?
I didn't. Probably fit back up. Let me just grab my other. How does it sound, by the way,
It
when I
sounds
was on
good.
my headphones?
It's not, but you sounded fine this entire time, including now.
It sounded what?
You sound fine the entire time, including right now. Like I didn't have to turn you up or anything.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, using these Beats things. One sec.
And my chat is well trained to tell me when they can't hear shit because I fuck that up a lot.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so what did it cut out at?
You said, well, I guess the first thing, like right off the bat, and then it just is quiet right after that.
Okay, so Destiny basically calling out Mr. Girl for saying that for the Fuentes victory lap and how Mr. Gold basically was like, "You're effing retarded" or something like that, and then did his victory lap. And you kind of like honed in on that retarded, and then we're like, Destiny's so sensitive, he can't even be called retarded. Da, 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 da. Do you remember that part?
So I'll be straight with you, and I've said this a lot. I don't remember almost anything that I say after I stream, but like I have no problem believing that I said that.
Yeah, and you just kept going back to it, like, oh, he's so sensitive. He does, and it really was about like the anti-fan thing, and that, oh, he wasn't trying to do that. And then it was like it felt like a rewriting of the conversation that you had with on a relevant stream.
Do you understand why I'm pointing that out about Destiny?
Well, you're trying to say that it was like his fans that were criticizing him, calling him retarded, but that wasn't the thing. It was that Mr. Girl, who he just had this argument, was like doing his victory lap and called him fucking retarded, and like that's the start of like another creator like starting an anti-fan community. It wasn't like sensitivity. It was like this. It was like the premise around like the anti-fan thing.
I guess I don't. I only half accept the anti-fan rhetoric.
I caught that too. Yeah, I heard you say it to somebody else. Like, I don't even know I don't even know what you mean when you're saying that.
So I think that that can be a concern. However, I think that the reason why, so that first post that got taken down, I don't think that it was because of what Destiny said it was. I think that Destiny was annoyed because, so when that conversation first happened, I had COVID and I was staying in a hotel. Like I left my house because my roommate had COVID and we didn't have power. And I was like, all right, we got to go to a hotel because just in case we don't have it yet, we got to get out of here. And it was on my way to the hotel that I was listening to that. And I'm like fully like 50-50. I am like Destiny and Mr. Girl. Like when they streamed together, it was like like the television event of like my week or month or whatever. It was like my two favorite shows doing a crossover event. And it was the first time I ever seen Destiny like what in my opinion was like lose a debate. And I couldn't believe it. I was like hooting and hollering and everything.
Yeah,
And
I didn't have the same impression, but go ahead.
well, yeah, and I have a whole like series of videos dedicated to why I think he lost that Fuentes debate.
Yes, I was watching I started those. That's what I was trying to say, that I started watching those as well. But go ahead. So you said that the first post that got taken down. What about that first post? I'm not even sure which post you're referring to.
The one that they had like a lot of conversation about. They talked about it a lot. Where Mr. Girl was saying like it's fine. You can. He's like I'm not saying that you can't take down things in your subreddit that disagree with you, but if you do, then you can't be the kind of person that says I'm open to criticism. You're only open to the criticism that you agree with, which really isn't criticism anymore.
Well, that's not totally true. Criticism can be criticism. It's a certain type of criticism that they're trying to not let fester. And it's funny. As you said, we were talking about the anti-fan thing. I started thinking in my head like about the definition of an anti-fan, and
His,
I would
his
almost say
excuse
that
wasn't
like,
that yet, though. The anti-fan thing didn't come until after that.
well,
This was it's
after
what's
the
it what sparked it. The first post is what sparked the discourse about. If there was an anti-fan thing in the subreddit, it was caused by Destiny pulling down that criticism of him. That's what like
well,
kickstarted the whole thing.
he was trying to get ahead of it.
It was one post, and he said he didn't like the way that the guy was being critical of him.
Well, it was the whole like, and if you listen to the discussion with Forethought, you would catch it too that they all, and I don't think that Destiny deleted it. I think that that's one of the ones that Forethought deleted. But he said that it was that the like speaking to someone's mental state or like not giving like the reasons, just saying like your gas, the gaslighting stuff. Dang it, I had something else that I was going to say. Oh, yes. Like, I would say that, like, I would consider myself a Mr. Girl anti-fan.
You would consider yourself one?
Yeah, as I think about the definition. Yeah, because, like, in my mind, an anti-fan is someone that, like, that likes to watch.
Oh, a hate watcher.
Yeah, basically kind of like a hate watcher. I mean, that's probably a great synonym for anti-fan, hate watcher. Like, dude drives me nuts. Like, I don't like so much about what he says and how he says it.
I love it.
And that's why, it's so, yeah, literally makes my skin crawl just listening to his, just in the smug, like when Abbott laid into him, I was listening to that on yours. Oh, I was cathartic just to like, yeah, not a huge fan, man. Just,
Sure,
or actually to the point, a big anti-fan. Like I re-listen to stuff all the time because, like I said, I don't really listen to a lot of the new stuff because I don't like the way I'm not left wing. I don't like to listen to the politics side of things because it doesn't speak to me the way that this stuff does for whatever reason. And I listen to a lot.
I appreciate you watching mine then.
Yeah, and that's why watching yours has been great because it's like listening to someone else like have a discussion with about these things that I've watched multiple times, and like it's just kind of cool to go over it, and like you almost have this like the whole bridge burn was just great. Like yeah, it
was the weirdest shit for me. Do you know? I don't know. Did I reiterate on that stream about how it got brought to my attention?
Yeah, you were like with your on a date with your wife and girlfriend, and like you weren't watching, and somebody called, and like
just get blown up. It was very surreal.
Yeah, but let me ask this, and in listening to your discussion with Destiny about the pre-report thing, that's another thing I want to argue with you about too. The whole report and the way that you had said that. Let's just go that now. The way that you said that, like the stripping of all the context made you rethink about how things happened. How does that make sense? So
can
you
be
were
a little bit
talking
more
with,
specific?
yes, I believe I can. I think you were talking with Emery, and I think it was like a leader or led the Australian guy.
When I talked about the stripping away of the context, I'm talking about the stuff that's in. Like I'm talking about the report.
I know. That's me too.
So what I'm trying to say there is that when I seen this stuff happen live, and I'm watching it through the lens of a Destiny fan,
sure.
Everything that he says and the way that he frames it, it feels just really natural to go along with it.
I don't know that I disagree. I don't think I disagree with that, but I guess like when I watch it, like I would consider myself a Destiny fan, as I said, even though recently take that out of it. But like I don't just blindly follow with what he like. I think about what's taking place. But when someone puts that in written word and they take the transcripts and they basically strip all of like the unwritten things, the unspoken, you know what I'm saying? The context. He stripped all the context and then like kind of gave his own. It really like it made a lot of the Destiny Report stuff, and I'll be honest, I watched all of it through Chud's coverage because there's no way I'm reading that. I don't have time. I don't
Yeah,
care to read. You know
it
what I
was.
mean?
I didn't even finish it because I couldn't. I needed somebody else to do it with me. I couldn't read the whole report all the way through. When I read too much on a computer screen, my eyes get weird and it gets hard to read. So that's why I had Benny O with me, and him and I were swapping off reading, so that way I could kind of have that break.
Right.
Um, but the thing of it is that when you so like you said, you listen to Destiny when you're working, and I listen a lot. So like when that was happening, I was playing Dark Souls 1. So the things that I was thinking of, like when he talked about the one chick that came over, and she said she went into his house to like get her phone or whatever, and he kicked her out. I was like, yeah, fuck that bitch, and, But like I'm also like playing this game, so it's like I'm automatically going to accept everything that he says. It's just going to integrate his version of events and how he feels. It's just going to get embedded into how I'm taking it in because I'm very passively engaging with it. But when it's written, you are actively engaging with it, and it makes you kind of create the situation in your head, so you're a lot more focused on it. And when I did it that way, it just felt a lot shittier.
Which so that your example there, I honestly don't know that I've ever heard that one before.
Mm-hmm.
Was it in the report?
Yeah.
Girl
It
that
was she. So it was like and I'm don't quote me on the specifics here, but I'm gonna give you a good faith very
summation?
loose. Yeah, very loose. It was like TwitchCon or something like that, and he had this chick was staying the night at his house, and while
You
he
no no
wasn't
no
there,
pause. You're talking about the denims.
yes, it was
Uh,
Denims. Yep, that's the
yeah.
one.
Okay. Yeah. But I guess the trippy thing for me to hear you like the written part of that all is coming from Destiny's stream anyways.
Correct.
So
But I was
so
actively engaging with it instead of passively engaging with it, and I wasn't taking like I feel like when you're passively engaging with it by listening to it, especially for me, like I was playing Dark Souls when it happened, I'm going to integrate his emotional sense of that situation fully into the story and not really have any ability to interject any of my own like reflection about it. But if I'm reading it, I kind of have to weigh it against how I feel instead.
I
And then
kind of understand.
when I did that, that's how I ended up feeling. I was like, wait, this is kind of fucked. Um,
Did you think that story was fucked? Do you know the whole story? Or at least as far as
so let me
it
put it
was
this
conveyed
way.
to us?
Let me put it this way. When I heard Destiny talk about it, I was like, yeah, that's crazy. Fuck that bitch, dude. Oh my god. But when I read it, I was like, he seems like at best like super paranoid, and it's like a really weird mistreatment of this person who like you could just say like, hey, I don't want you to do that, and then if they continue to do stuff like that, then yeah, fucking kick them out or whatever. But it
What
seems
do
like
you think? What do you think it was that she did that he was upset about?
that he went into her house to get her phone charger or whatever. Um,
No. She rode back from TwitchCon with one of his viewers and had sex on their bed.
oh yeah. I don't know. I think that I
That's a lot more. Let's be honest. That's a whole hell of a lot more than going in to get your phone charger.
I don't. You're right. I didn't remember that. But still, I think that I have a very hard time believing that Destiny's the kind of person that cares about that.
Well, it was also
But
the no. It
but it's
was the
possible that he
OPSEC.
does, and if he
Yeah.
does, that's fine. But like, I don't think that you kick somebody out like that for
Well, when
that.
you say kicked out, like there wasn't. I don't think it was planned that they were going to stay there, but kind of litigating the whole scenario. I guess my main contention with the way that it was conveyed was that like it sounded like and the way you're describing it now that the reading of it, I get that, but like the way that if you're going to write down a synopsis of the event as a quote reporter, which he was trying to convey himself as when he did the whole report, you should really give the full context in its entirety and not like try to strip it of any. You're making it so one sided. in fairness. Like he did. I
Yeah, I
mean,
think the purpose of the report is to be one-sided. It's to give the
well,
side that Mr.
well,
Girl
yeah,
sees. Yeah.
yeah, but then it's not a truly journalistic endeavor. It's just a hit piece. If you're gonna say it's
Um,
one sided, if it's clearly one sided, as you just said it was, it's a hit piece. It's not journalistic.
I don't,
Journalists don't.
you don't, it's something isn't inherently a one, isn't a hit piece just because it's one-sided. But I would say that I think it was intended to be an expose.
I mean, a bird by any feather, however you say that. I mean, it was made, and that this was the other thing I wanted to discuss about like the intentions of it. Yeah, I know you're going to say, well, Destiny said that it wasn't malicious. Everyone, we all know. Come on,
I don't think that at all.
you still don't think that all this
No,
time later?
I don't think that Mr. Girl is a malicious kind of person. No, and here's the thing too. Uh, I Mr. Girl gave up a lot to write that, and everything that I know about Mr. Girl, like if when it led up to it, if you ask me, do you think that Mr. Girl would give up all of his streaming, like his streaming career and all the money that he's making, if he had to make a decision versus like keeping his streaming career going and doing what he thought was right? I'd be like, yeah, probably. And I think that's what he
But
did. It followed in line with his
but
character.
but he didn't give up. It was already
It
gone at
did.
that point. It didn't. It was already gone.
No, it was gone because he was doing the report though, and he knew how he
No,
was going to suffer. Yeah.
he was banned before. What are we talking about? He was banned before.
Oh, but
Before he ever did the report.
yeah, but that didn't matter. He was still going on people's streams and stuff. He still had like he paid money to get his website up and going and stuff. I don't think that the vision of his career being over was realized at all yet because he still had all these people that he could communicate with. He still had ways to network and all that. It
Let's keep
certainly
it up.
took a huge hit, but I don't
Let,
think that him or the audience thought that it was over. But once things between him and Destiny went down, yeah, of course it was.
well, when you say all these people, in fairness, you mean Destiny,
Well, people in Destiny
right?
sphere, sure,
You
not
mean
just
it's
Destiny.
that? Well, like who else has near the or has near the size, the eyes, the
No, no, no,
all
no,
of
no.
these
So
things?
there's a difference between. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, Destiny's a big part of that. But I was just saying, if Mr. Grill was still in a position to be able to engage with like the other streamers in the space, he would still be making 10 times more money than he is now.
Like when you say that if he was still in a position to engage with them, are you saying because not because he was banned, but because he burnt the bridge with Destiny?
It wasn't just that he burnt the bridge with Destiny. It was, yeah, I would say the fallout from him burning the bridge with Destiny, really, and how it happened too. So even after that happened, the amount of so everybody at that point then had to take a side, and everybody's going to pick Destiny. For the most part, you have some people like Wick who are trying to kind of be in the middle there and still be able to reach out to Mr. Girl, but also the hate that he got from DGG really just destroyed his ability to engage with anybody in Twitch poll, and it sucks. I tried talking to him about it. I thought he did bad on his like post Destiny report like tour that he did. I thought he did a bad job of that.
Terrible.
Yeah, and I talked to him about it, and it fucking sucked to talk to him about it because I kind of knew how he was going to respond to me, and it was rough. I didn't want to have to say stuff like that to him.
How did I didn't catch that. How did he respond to that?
Um, he basically just said like, "Well, what else could I have said? What else could I have done?" I said, "You could have taken time away after you put out the report until you were emotionally ready to be able to engage with people. You needed to be able to answer questions." And I told him that he owed it to the people that were in the report to be able to have good interviews about the report, to where he could deal with people saying things that he didn't like them to say, and be diplomatic enough to have something that could flow and could get people interested in reading the report. When you put out something like that for the reasons that he says he put it out, and I believe him for his reasons, I think now you have a personal responsibility to the people that you're writing the report for. And I think that he, due to his emotional state from all the hate that he got, about the report and all the anxiety of releasing the report. Um, and I know that was present too. I think that he just wasn't ready to do any of that stuff. I
Yeah,
even messaged him right before the report came out. I was like, "Are you scared? Are you okay? Are you scared?" He's like, "I'm okay, but yeah, of course I'm scared." Like he got death threats. He got doxxed.
yeah. Carl, I don't know the whole the report. Like when you say things like he owed it to the people, and I, I still struggle with like who are the real victims that we're talking about in the report.
So when I say this is what matters. When I say he owes it to the people, Mr. Grill wrote the report because he believes that there's victims, right?
I agree. No, I
This is
understand that. But
that's all that matters when I say like he owes it to them because he
I
owed them the
know.
report, then he also owes them this. If the report is owed, okay.
I understand. But what I'm asking you is, like, just in your opinion, like, there was no smoking gun in that report. Do you think there was?
A smoking gun? No, no.
Anything that wasn't already known, and it hadn't already been covered in depth numerous times.
Okay, so this is part of the problem when assessing the report from inside a Twitch poll. Mr. Girl's always made it clear that the report wasn't meant for Twitch poll. However, we're the ones that are going to get it first. We're the ones that are going to read it first, and we're the ones that are going to analyze it first. And through that lens, there's nothing here.
Yeah, there was nothing. Even if for people outside, there's nothing there for people outside of Twitch poll.
For somebody who has a 14-year-old kid who watches Destiny, a parent of somebody who has a 14-year-old kid that watches Destiny, I think there's a lot there.
In regards, but see, I guess I hear that too, and I'm like, I mean, I don't think Destiny's target audience. I know it's not. It's not 14-year-old kids.
But there are 14-year-old kids that do watch Destiny.
Well, there's 14-year-old kids that watch all sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah. They shouldn't. That doesn't mean that like.
Okay, like that's fine, but if the target is people like that parent, which Mr. Girl has said these are the targets these are the people that I'm trying to target with it, then then there are things in that report that will do something to make a change in that area.
Then he went about the absolute worst, the worst way with the worst presentation.
Yeah, ever. I know. I've actually considered rewriting the report to like a 5-page thing.
Oh, please don't. That would be
just for the sake of if somebody wanted to get what was in the report without reading a million pages, they could do that.
Yeah, I guess. I think if memory serves, like the first however many pages was like a synopsis of all the, like a quick synopsis of what he was going to cover, and like that would be it.
An overview.
Like, when you hear it, it's just kind of like. And then there was something you had said something else about that I wish I could remember what it was that I was going to go back to. You just said something there too that made me. Oh, I forgot now, and I'll remember in a second. But yeah, I just like. I don't know. I heard it, the like Wick's interview and Sunday's interview. Like, man, it was hard to watch. In fact, like hearing Destiny come in after the comparison to like the rape to comparing the power, it just all was like he couldn't understand that like none of this stuff is near comparable to what he thinks it is. And so like if you don't have your lens focused in the right way, you're just missing the mark. And then when you receive questions about these things with this unfocused lens, it kind of makes sense as to why you would respond in such a like what's the word so indignant way, like how dare you ask me about these things, and as if you've never asked somebody who was just raped if they whatever. It's just like, yeah, but like that's not really what happened here. None of it was really that, and it just
it was the way that Mr. Grill, he responded in a very Mr. Grill way about it. I'll give you that. And it wasn't. It's the one time where I think Mr. Grill should have cared about the optics, and he didn't. And I consider that to be one of his biggest blunders. Looking at it from the frame of uh, like accepting the report, like saying if I was Mr. Girl and I already put out the report, what do I have a moral responsibility to? I would say that the way that he conducted himself during those interviews was a huge blunder.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. That it just even if you don't agree with
And it still
anything
makes
he
me
said,
sad.
yeah, no, I could see that. It was I almost felt the same way when like the whole deal with Destiny and his assassin saying that firefighter guy, he's glad he died and shit.
That actually
I
it
was,
reinvigorated me to be like a Destiny fan again.
oh God, why?
Um, because I'm really on board with it is extremely frustrating to see people on the left acting so charitably towards people on the right when they say like completely crazy things and not matching their energy ever. Um, and it seems like they're always trying to play safe and be fair when they're engaging with the right. And I guess it was very nice and refreshing to hear somebody voice their opinion about just how fucking crazy everything with Trump is. The fact that he's actually even allowed to run again after January 6th. Like, yeah, like he's a fucking traitor to the country. And you're showing up at a rally to a traitor to the country. Like,
Yeah, but
I don't feel bad that you've had a great misfortune happen to you when you're supporting somebody who's trying to destroy who did enough to like if he was been successful on January 6th, like America as an experiment is over. It failed and it's something new now. So I understand.
potentially, but
I resonated with that feeling of like
yeah, but to say this firefighter dude who has a family, like
he didn't
great,
say
he
he
got
deserved it.
killed. I
He
believe
said
he
he has no
did.
sympathy. No, he said he has no sympathy.
No. In later ones, maybe not that exact one, but I'm almost positive in later ones, he's like, yeah, he deserved it. I'm glad it happened. I hope it. If you show up, I hope it happens to my parents or some shit like that. It was
No. He said if
wild.
it happened, I think everything that was said is one step down from how you're saying it.
Maybe,
Like
maybe, but even so, it's just not like as someone as a right wing guy who listened to him, it was just like, I'm good. I'm stepping back. I don't want to keep listening to shit. Like, and if a left wing person said the same shit, I do the same thing. Well, he
even
did,
if a
or I'm
right
sorry,
wing
if a right
person,
wing person, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm good on
yeah.
that. Like, I don't. The left and the right shouldn't. Honestly, like,
But the right already
the
does do stuff like that.
no, not really.
Yeah,
Not.
so the Nancy Pelosi's husband. This
I
is
knew
something
you were
Destiny
gonna
brought up
say
a
that
lot.
shit.
You knew I
Yeah,
was going to
like
say that because you knew it was an
yeah.
applicable counterpoint.
I heard the stupid Dave Rubin bullshit about something hammer or some. I don't care. Like
Well,
I don't care because I don't care because I don't. Dave Rubin isn't who I would
the
look to.
reason it resonates isn't because of Dave Rubin. It's because every person on the left, when that happened, seeing people that they know on Facebook making memes about it and shit, laughing about it, and all these other things, saying that her husband was like fucking some guy, and just like all this stuff. Like all the rhetoric from the right was some of the most crazy, hateful shit. And we didn't just hear it from mainstream people. We've seen it propagate all over our social media. And
Yeah,
so
I guess I didn't, and I didn't convey that, and I would never convey that. And so, as someone who wouldn't do those things, and I'm really pretty far right. Like I say that, and then I'd like think about it, but I would say I'm pretty far right. It have been for long, but like
you think you're
I
pretty
don't.
far right pre 2016?
What's say it again?
Would you say that you were pretty far right prior to 2016? Is that what you're trying to
Yes.
say?
I've been for a long time, like since
Well, because I mean, what
I'm
far right meant
40.
before Trump means something different. Far right meant something different before Trump than it does now.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm not a far right. I'm just like I'm a conservative in most things, and in social stuff I'm fair. Like I said it at the start. I just don't the divisiveness and the how far apart both sides are. And I know that people hate about the whole censorship, but like at the same time, like it's so nothing ever gets done if both sides are just the
Sure.
far right and the far left are just terrible.
And I am somebody who's I'm all for having good faith conversations with people across the aisle. I'll talk to conservatives and I'll be good faith when I talk to them too. But there's people on the far right, and to be fair too, people on the far left too. I criticize people on the far left a lot. I think that they're a bunch of fucking babies who would rather they either want every single thing that they want, or they'd rather burn the whole party down. It's fucking crazy. You can't even give them 60% of what they want. They're not happy with anything. But people on the far right, um, I can try to have a conversation with them, but it just comes to a point to where, in order to even talk to them, I have to accept things that are factually false. And if I don't, we're just going to loop on things that are just like we might as well be arguing whether or not something from Lord of the Rings happened in real life. It's crazy.
Are you? Would you consider yourself, or do you have a single issue? Are you? You know what I mean? Or like, what is your biggest? What would be your biggest issue as a voter?
I don't think I have like a single issue. But I would say like a very motivating issue for me would be like housing. If somebody put out a good plan for housing, I would probably be pretty big for that. Also, I'm pretty big on positive prison reforms. Healthcare is pretty big for me. I would say those things would motivate me a lot. To like, if somebody had like really strong like housing reform, prison reform, or healthcare reform, I would probably be pretty motivated to like phone bank for them and all that.
When you say housing reform, what? Excuse me. What do you mean by that?
Just having like good social programs to help people get housing.
Like more affordable / like programs to like maybe if you don't qualify right away for something.
Yeah, I don't think that we can do like price control, but I can see like voucher some kind of voucher system if somebody is homeless, or if like first time home buyers like maybe
you have that. We have first time home buyers.
Yeah, it's not bad, but if we had better programs for that, if anybody who's pushing that kind of stuff, I would see as like a pretty big positive. I'm looking for people. I guess the biggest policies that stand out to me are people that are the policies that are going to benefit the people that are losing in the game of capitalism. Because I'm pretty pro capitalism, but I want to see us taking some of the wealth that this system generates and making sure that the pitfalls of it get filled in with some of the sexual wealth. It's just it shouldn't be the case that we're a country that is producing like billionaires and all that, and then we see people at the bottom who like can't afford to go to the hospital or can't afford to live in a house. Like these are the kinds of things that I really care about. I want to see the system that's doing really good things lift up the bottom part a little bit, like a lot better.
No, I can agree pretty much 100% with that. Like
so if you say like, if you want to put that into like the lens of like a single issue, I would say it's like a category that I care the most about.
Yeah, I would agree too.
It really wastes a lot of potential that we have in this country. The people that are at the bottom could be doing so much more to benefit the country, and almost all these programs end up being like a net positive on our economy too. So I think that would be like my biggest thing. But so why do you ask?
I just curious. Like again, another buddy was talking about this, and like I think I would agree with all of that. It was I don't know how to like put what like recently my biggest thing is into a single issue, but like it's gonna sound like a very stupid example, but it's almost like a microcosm of like the problems that I see with a lot of our society today, and it's going to be related to coffee makers. So every day I make coffee, and I bought 3 coffee makers in the last 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And these coffee makers, right? They're like, I'm not buying cheap ones. Like they're like $150 a piece. And from 3 different brands. Guess what the warranty, the manufacturer warranty on all 3 coffee makers? Guess the length of term.
90 days.
No, it's like it's right at 2 years.
Okay.
Guess when each one of the coffee makers is broken? A month after 2 years.
I was about to say 2. Yeah.
Do you think that's not by design?
Oh no, I've actually I've maybe not so much since I've streamed, but I've been politically active for a long time. Planned obsolescence is a big problem.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you're just and I get it that like the place that you bought the coffee maker from wants you to spend money to buy an extended warranty, blah blah blah. Well, that's crap too. If in my mind, and this is where the right part of me comes in, America was at its greatest like the when we were manufacturing our own stuff, and we become such a microwave consumer society, and we have to have everything now, and we want it for as cheap as possible, but like we don't really want to work for those things. But we also have a group at the top that like is squeezing every penny out of the little guy, and it's just like I never used to think this way, but I see it more and more with everything. They're
That sort
just
of is the
squeezing
nature
as
of capitalism, though, right?
yeah, but in reality, like the market is supposed to correct for these things. Those shitty coffee makers that break a month after their warranty period should stop being bought. But the problem is that all of them now are the same way. They all fail. Three different brands all have failed 1 month after the warranty period expires. That's by design. All three companies. There isn't really a fourth option. I just want to go to Meyer and buy a coffee maker. I've tried all three brands. What am I left to do? And it's just it's like I was
Do you want
talking
to know
to
the
my
answer?
barber.
There is an answer. Um, there's a way to get around this. I used to go through CD players a lot back in the day.
Sure, Sony Discmans.
Yep, and so I would always get them from Ace Hardware because they had
Yep.
good in-store 2-year warranties on them, and then right before and they were no questions asked warranties, and so I would always break them on like the 10th month of the second year on purpose so I could
Right.
get a new one.
But
I
no,
paid
and
for that warranty, and I'm going to use it.
I understand. Like I get that, but in my mind, I wasn't. It's more so like the overall scheme that like
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like person to person. Like you want
No,
to,
I
or you want
know.
some advice on how to solve this problem.
Yeah,
Um,
I did the same thing with my son's monitor, and like, but we should be like we send all of our jobs away, and then we wonder why nothing is made to quality, and like it's like to me it's always been about like we should be when we made stuff like stuff from the 60s and 50s and 60s. It's all metal, better made. Was it more expensive? Yeah, but did it last forever? Again, yeah.
well,
And
it wasn't like was it more expensive? Yeah, but there's a
in the
lot that
long
goes
run, no.
there's a lot that goes into that too, though. Like the dollar, that like your dollar was worth more than also the range of products that like people are going to be buying was smaller as well. So um, like if like I think like a good example would be like Craftsman still has like a lifetime warranty on their wrenches, right? Um,
Um, yeah, but that's only sold through Lowe's now, and
sure.
I
But if
don't
you,
know.
well, what I'm saying is like now the amount of people that are buying wrenches is a lot smaller than the amount of people that were buying wrenches back then because if you look back at that time, most people are probably going to have a set of wrenches at their house. Now most people pay people to do things that require wrenches. So it's not just that like Craftsman's not just competing with other people
Husky,
that
Snap
manufacture.
On, yeah,
They're not just competing
Matco.
with the other people that are making their products. They're competing with people that are making computers. They're competing with people that are selling fast food because now there's so many more different products, the cell phones that people have to spend their money on that now most people just don't even buy wrenches. Do you see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
I do.
it's a little bit harder. So like when
Sure.
you're looking at how long can I make a product to last, if it's I'm guaranteed to sell this product to like 48% of the people in my demographic, then I can probably spend more and charge a little bit more. But then when I'm only going to be able to sell it to like 22% of my demographic now maybe I have to start cutting costs and I have to provide some incentive as to why they should pick me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand, and I guess it sort of makes sense. But then it like my frustration is like what you said originally, the whole planned obsolescence thing. That
Yes.
if we know that that you're doing it, designing it to break, if this, tell me, charge less, because again, it goes back to the people at the top, the shareholders and the board of directors that are squeezing every last penny, and then not even paying a living wage to their workers. It's like, what are we talking about here? Like, charge a little more, let it last a little more, pay your people a little more, rising tides, all that fun stuff. But like,
Sure.
just keeping the same way, like,
I'm not gonna lie, you sound kind of socialist.
man, I'm not, but like,
I don't say that with any malice or anything.
No, I'm really not, like, the idea of not of not being able to achieve the American dream, but at the same time, like, the ability to achieve the American dream is dwindling more and more for more people. Like my parents, like I'm 43, 44 now.
Sure.
Like, I'm old. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel
Yeah,
that
I'm
old,
36,
but I'm old.
man. We're not
Yeah.
that far apart. I get it.
Right.
So it's
but
really
like
interesting that what you're saying though is that we can't. Companies aren't being built by people with strong morals that are like aligned with American values. They're not selling themselves on American values anymore, which is why I think that we need policy to pick up the slack. Which is why I'm a social democrat.
Yeah, but do you really think that the left or the right are gonna? When I say the left, I mean the actual politicians are, on either side, are going to try to make those changes to business, or are they just gonna, once they get in office, are they just gonna go along to
I
get
don't
along?
think
And
so. There's ways that you can do it. That I think. Let me put it this way: which party do I think is going to even look at the problem? Which party that, if they did look at the problem, would be motivated to do anything about it? It's gonna be the left. The right
I
is
knew,
not. They're never looking at the people that are losing out, that are losing in the game of capitalism, and saying like, how do we make this better for them? The right still believes in
yeah,
trickle down economics. In the way that the global economy works is so far detached from, like, if trickle down economics ever did work, which I don't see any real evidence to suggest that it ever really did work, but if it did work before, it doesn't work in the current environment
well,
that the global economy exists in.
I think that
And making
the
policy
idea
that
of,
would reflect that is crazy.
well, the idea of trickle down, like, it's not a bad idea in theory, but the problem is that in practice, and especially in today's practice, you have these ginormous corporations at the top of these structures that they're not trickling anything down. They're just like
Right.
capturing all the rain and saving it and then divvying it out to their top, and so that the stock price goes up.
Which is
And
why I
it's
don't
really
support
like,
the party that still makes policy that would be beneficial if trickle down economics did work. It doesn't work anymore. So yeah, that's why I think the left is going to be better suited to
yeah,
do this.
I don't think
And so,
they're
like,
not going to do anything either. But I mean, I get what you're saying.
I don't know why. Like, honestly, a lot of the things that we just talked about, the way that you solve this is through tax incentives. You can get big corporations to do the right thing. You go, hey, if your average employee makes X amount of money, we're going to reduce your tax burden by this much. So you can get them to do it by incentivizing them to do it. Um, you can punish them through taxes, or, well, instead of
Or
punishing them,
incentivize them.
you can
Yeah, I know what
incentivize
you
them
mean.
to do it. Yeah, because
That's
like
a,
the opponents against the idea would say that you're punishing them because the other companies are going to get that benefit. But what you're doing is really
or
you're just incentivizing them to do it that way. So hey, if you're a company that has over 200 employees, and if at least 80% of your employees don't have some kind of healthcare plan through you, then or if they at least 80% of your employees have healthcare through you, then we're going to give you a tax credit. And you make it, somewhat proportional to that. This is a way that I think that you can get the right to be on board with it, because hey, you're giving tax breaks to the wealthy people, which is a pretty popular right position to take, and then the people are getting the kinds of social programs that they need, and it works really well on the left. These are the kinds of things that I would like to see. I think that these would probably be like the most bipartisan efforts we could make that would end up benefiting the people while satiating the people that usually try to stonewall those efforts.
yeah, no, actually, I don't think I could argue with that plan at all. I would say go one step further and say like implement it for what you're paying people.
Yes, yeah.
Like, and
It's
I don't
you
like
can
that.
you can make it directly correlate. You can have the
Yeah,
price directly correlate. Um, and I think that I think that the way that this works out really well is that I think the average Republican voter is going to see it as a good thing happening.
yeah. I mean, yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. It's just I don't. I told you I'm in Indiana. You sound like you're Midwestern or somewhere thereabouts.
Michigan.
Oh hell, you're my.
Yeah, I know we're neighbors.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to say on when I don't know if I'm even on stream, but
You're on stream. Yeah.
uh, saying my niece plays softball in Michigan.
Oh no
And
shit.
buddy lives up there. Yeah. What's the name of that college? Davenport.
Oh okay.
Yeah. The cost of housing is just it's beyond crazy here. Is it
Yeah,
there too?
yeah, it's a problem that I've been facing for quite a while myself. It's rough. It's pretty rough.
It's dude. Like I live in a suburb, nice suburb, great schools. Um, the the neighborhood it's like built mid 2000s. The houses when they were originally built in this like suburb area that's like is growing and was growing even in like 2002 2003. It's gotten way they're building homes like crazy. The home I'm in now would have been like 125,000 in 20 years ago. Let's take the house across the street as an example. I think they built it. It was like 150. To last year, the end of the COVID deal, my neighbor sold it for 315.
Yeah.
That's not those kind of numbers. And like I do pretty well for myself. I'm a single parent, but I do pretty well. But like 315 is not it's not attainable. I can't do that. Like that's wild. And I think it's coming back, starting to come back down finally. But like at some point, that has to something has to give there. You know what I mean? Like, and it sounds like you understand exactly what I'm saying. Like these
Yeah.
houses that were it can't.
It seems pretty obnoxious to me that we have, like, if you take a look at Detroit, how many rundown houses and how many things in like the business districts that are just shut down and all that. It seems crazy to me that we can't rezone these areas, tear down these houses, and build like that the government can't pay contractors to build houses and then rent them out at reduced rates because eventually the government's going to get the money back.
Well, I don't know why you tear them down.
Because they're dog shit. They are dog shit houses.
But let me tell you, dude, it's crazy. We have the same shit in Indy, and those houses, my buddies, and I'm kicking myself for not getting in on this way back in like the 2010s. These homes that you look at and you'd be like, those are terrible, but they're these big old, just like in downtown Detroit. My buddy who lives in Lansing sent me some pictures of him driving through, just what you're talking about. Like whole streets just empty with these big old ginormous old houses that are just boarded up. My buddies were buying them, and in 3 to 5 years, like they rehabbed them, they held on to them for a little while, and all the people were moving back into the city because that's where they worked. They're paying like 400,000 or 500,000, sometimes way more depending on the home. But like you just get it up to a nice livable standard, and people will. And I've heard that you can get those houses for like $5,000.
There's some houses in Detroit. Yeah. I think you need to tear them all down. I do. But I think part of that is just to. I think that if you just got some of these houses in Detroit and then you revamp them, it's still in an area that is terrifying to live in.
Dude, Indy is. I know it's not quite Detroit. But you would have said the same thing in the worst parts of Indy.
Do you know how many years Detroit's been like the worst in the nation for crime and stuff? Like I think we need to do like the public perception of the areas that we're revamping houses has to be we have to do something about that too if we expect people to live there. Because
I'm
like
telling, I'm
I
telling you,
lived
the
in a
ones I'm
hotel
talking
for three
about.
months and I could have lived in Detroit instead. Like the areas I'm like, I can't have my kid in this area. I cannot do it.
Well, yes, that becomes that, and that's my thing too. Is that like I don't mind living in the hood. I lived in the hood when I was younger, and when like don't get me, like Indy has. If you look at crime rates, Indy's always had its fair share as well. It's not like all polka dots and rainbows here, but I don't mind it. Like I've whatever, but
I do have a warped
I've
perspective because we have Detroit, we have Flint, we have Saginaw. Like we have some like a collection of really fucked cities in Michigan.
just look. I'm just telling you, like there's Indy's got its things, and I'm saying that because there's parts and the parts I'm talking about where you could find like really reasonable, cheap housing. I live there, but I can't do it with my son. Like no way, no how. I understand exactly what you're saying. There's no you just it's just not. You'll do whatever it takes to
Oh
not do
shit!
that.
I just
Um,
googled it too. Detroit's #1 for crime.
for what? When
No,
you say crime,
most dangerous cities in the U.S.
it's
It's
Baltimore
based on
right now,
violent
isn't it?
crimes. Baltimore's #4. This came out in February of 2024.
What?
So
I
the
just
Detroit,
watched.
Memphis, Birmingham, Baltimore, St. Louis, Kansas City, Cleveland, Little Rock, Milwaukee, and then Stockton.
Let me see. Murder rate per capita, U.S. cities.
Well, not murder rate, violent crime in general.
Oh well, I'm good as long as I don't get killed.
Well, you might not want to get raped.
Oh, I'm good. You can't rape the willing. So, dude, you're not far. So Baltimore is 50 per 1,000. Coming in #2, Detroit 49 per 1,000. Damn, Memphis has really gone. That is wild. I didn't know Memphis got so bad.
Yeah, downtown.
But anyway,
Somebody just said downtown Detroit's getting more expensive. Downtown Detroit's not too bad, but like you have like offshoots of it. Have you seen the movie
Amo.
Barbarian? There's a
Oh,
horror movie called Barbarian,
I
and
don't watch horror movies.
well, this person got like a room they an Airbnb, and there was somebody already staying in it, and it was in Brightmoor, and uh, my wife and I laughed because one of our exes lives in Brightmoor, and we go pick her up from there, and it's such a garbage place, and it's like there's like a lot of gangs there and stuff, and like her house got shot before she found a bullet inside of her house, and when the person in the movie had a meeting in downtown Detroit, the person's like, "Where are you staying?" It's like Brightmoor. She goes, "Oh, we gotta get you." She's like, "We gotta find somewhere else for you to stay while you're here." And I was like, "Oh, whoever made this movie knows Michigan for real. They get it."
Yeah, no, I understand. And it was back to the streamer stuff. Do you know? Have you ever watched Trap Lore Ross?
Who?
Trap Lore Ross. You don't know what I'm talking about.
Nope.
So I listen to all sorts of crazy, like I don't say crazy, but I listen to all sorts of music. But Trap Lore Ross
He looks like Tuna Chip.
What's that?
He looks like Tuna Chip.
He covers like hip hop stuff, trap music.
Yeah. I mean, I used to do music share night, which I thought about bringing back, and so we get a lot of rap on that, and I like certain rappers.
I bring him up because SVT Philly.
Okay.
You should actually watch it. His videos are really good. He's like up there with
wait,
like
SCT Philly's the guy that
yes,
Destiny clowned on, right?
Yeah, yes, and that did the thing with Doomer and Sunday were on J Stocks. What's your take on J Stock, by the way? Just to completely switch topics.
So this is what this is how I've always like. If somebody just said to me like, "Who's J Stock?" and I was gonna get like there's two different ways I can look at him. If somebody just said, "Hey, who the fuck is this J Stock guy?" I'd be like, "He's Destiny's Queeman," is what I would say normally.
He's Destiny's Queeman?
J Stock is to Destiny what Queeman is to Chud.
Oh,
does that make sense?
Yes. I don't like Queeman very much.
Well,
But I don't like Jay's talk either.
I'm fine with Freeman. Him and I have had some back and forth or whatever. But I don't mind the back and forth. But like usually we say like not nice things to each other. But like I kind of enjoy that too. People
Right.
think that I like hate him, but like it's not that. It's just that I don't mind. I like having somebody that I have the opportunity to like to be mean with sometimes.
Sure, I don't
But
disagree.
but Jay Stock, I have a little bit of respect for him. When Mr. Girl and Lab did their podcast, I didn't know that it was even happening. Like I didn't get the memo, and there wasn't like easy to get VOD out. He gave me the link right away. Um, Although he did pull me into a conversation because he thought like I was like pro Lolly, and I'm just like pro not harassing people for them watching Lolly.
Right.
Um, so I just think that he's a drama streamer. So like it is what it is. I think sometimes he oversteps his bounds. I think that he really played a fool with the whole Tom stuff. And he's just a little too coomery for him to have like good takes. Sometimes.
You know what? That stuff. When you say you mean the tomfoolery stuff.
Yeah.
You know what? That stuff, like, I don't. Yes, that's probably where I got the worst impression of him. That and kind of the Dan stuff. I used to kind of watch Tom some. I don't anymore. I don't really know why. I don't know that.
I pop in here and there.
Yeah.
I just went on a stream a few weeks ago, and just to roast the chick he was talking to. He was talking to one of the dumbest people I'd ever heard in my entire life. I was lighting her up in chat, and then he had me come in at the end because his chat was like demanding it. And like I even said before I got in there, I was like, I'm not even here to say anything productive. I'm gonna go in there just to make fun of her.
But the way, like, do I think he should have said what he said? I don't really care. I don't Kelly. That's one of the worst. Like that whole deal. That was, you want to talk about hate watching cathartic. Those have been like there's lines I think they get crossed some, but like, man, those were entertaining to listen to.
The nice way that I talk about Kelly is I've never seen Kelly engaged in anything positive ever. Every time Kelly engages in anything, it is a bunch of bullshit.
Yes.
She's only ever caused problems.
1000%, and never really brings anything of substance or value to any conversation other than to be like a distraction, hindrance, or something to laugh at.
Yeah, every time she's on something, she's there to cry about something.
Yeah, and cry bully too.
Yeah, that kind of goes with it. Yeah, which is why I was like pretty sympathetic to Evil Fossil when I found out it was all about like all revolving around Kelly. I was like, well, I'm already willing to listen here because if you're having a bunch of problems and it's like centered around Kelly, like
I don't even know what you're talking about now.
Oh, Evil Fossil basically got kicked out of all the DGG discords and everything, and like DGG adjacent discords because of Kelly. And then he made a comic about her, kind of about a streamer called Belly Bean. It was pretty spicy.
Yeah, yeah. There was another thing that you said just now that I started triggering something about in listening to your reviews that made me, now I can't even remember it.
Gosh,
that's all right. I tell you what, I gotta take care of my boy, get him to bed. So, man, it was good talking to you. I wouldn't mind doing this more, like kind of chill to talk, you know.
Yeah, I'm always happy to take call-ins from viewers. If you ever want to chat about anything, particularly though, if you want to re-go over any of the videos and take some notes so that you can hit me with some of your stronger criticisms, I'll be happy to take them. You don't have to if you want. If you really want to like hold my feet to the fire or whatever. But if you want a more coherent conversation from me, just let me know like which parts of which videos, so that way I can just look at it and see if I even like agree. That's cool.
Sure.
But like I said, if you want to try to get me, I don't know where you're at with that, but you don't have to. Yeah.
Quick question. When folks are like saying that they like watch these things together or like they do the countdown, where are they doing that at?
When who?
Like when people watch, like if I wanted to like point out some clips and be like, all right, well, watch this from this time period to this time period, and they watch it together on quote on stream.
Oh,
How
they're
is
playing a
that
YouTube
done?
video.
They're what?
So they're either pulling up a YouTube video and they're both like, so like if I wanted you to watch a clip of, so let's say you and I are talking about a video that I had, right? I would send you a link to my video.
Mm-hmm.
You would click that link and I go, okay, go to 13 minutes and 21 seconds and press
From
play in
Discord?
like 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I sent it to you in Discord. And then you can open up the link. Or just for this is just something that you'll see. They're not going to see this really. I'm just going to grab whatever video here.
Are you doing all this on a computer?
Yeah, I'm on a computer. But you could still do it from your phone if you wanted to.
I have laptops and computers for day. I just don't like, this has never been a thing that I ever even want to entertain, but like, now I'm like doing it. I'm kind of like, so is the Discord much better on a PC than it is on
Oh my God. Night and day. But
is that how most people interact with Discord?
If you're calling in and stuff, it's better.
Really?
For sure. Yeah.
Huh. I'll be damned. I might have to look into that.
So I'll just show you for your own benefit here. See on Discord here? This is another way that people do it.
Oh, watch stream.
Yep, and see, I can play it. But it's muted right now because I don't want to.
It would be doubling.
Yeah, so I just mute the site. But so this is just another way that people do it. No, I would be in control of it because I'm the one that pulled it up. But like this is just a movie review that I did a year ago. A terrible movie. But that's another way that it can be done as well.
Huh. I'll be.
It was died suddenly. It's like a anti-vax movie. They had no doctors in it whatsoever. It was all morticians, like us pretending to have medical knowledge.
Are you in anime?
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
I think that the best anime is probably Code Geass.
I'm sorry, what?
I think Code Geass is probably like I consider it to be a perfect show. Code Geass, Evolution and Rebellion. Like, do you like Death Note? It is. Nothing is more similar to Death Note than Code Geass, but I would say Code Geass is better still.
I'm kind of a mainstream anime fan. You're gonna probably laugh at my favorites, but
Code Geass is mainstream.
Well, yeah.
Had theater release movies.
Yeah. So my currents are like I always watch One Piece.
I like One Piece.
Dude, One Piece is. I've watched.
What? Just saying. If you're talking about it, I just want to say I just finished. Like Luffy just beat Kaido, so don't say anything past that, please.
Luffy just beat Kaido?
That's where I left off. Yeah, I let it build up.
Dude, I do too. I'm through. I'm caught up now. But the Wano arc was one of my favorites. Yeah, and it's now all. I believe. Yeah, no, it is all dubbed now.
I like Dressrosa. I think the best.
Really?
Yeah, getting Sabo back and all that. That was all. Finding out that Sabo is still alive and seeing him get Ace's fruit was really, really meaningful.
Yeah.
And also, Don Flamenco was such a good villain. Fourth Gear, it had so many amazing points. And then like the god
the snot dude was one of my like most hated. You know what I'm talking about? The slime guy.
I lied. Whole Cake Island is my favorite.
With when
Big Mom.
I know what it is. My brain is going melt though. Sanji's whole deal with,
Yes.
and when Luffy is like starving, and then when Nami's like, "We're done with you," that shit was pretty legit.
I really liked the Mochi guy. He was like a perfect counter to like he was
Sure.
like a Luffy clone. It was all really
No,
cool. There was
it
this
was pretty.
purpose. His purpose was to be like I'm like you, but I'm stronger. And then Luffy had to overcome him, so that was pretty cool. We haven't seen anybody with like rubber like powers besides Luffy. But also like I'm a huge Dragon Ball franchise fan.
I was. They just came out with a new one. Actually, I was looking at that. I didn't even. I didn't watch GT.
GT
This.
is fine. It's not that it's not as bad as everybody makes it out to be, but it's better. It's better than the people who shit on it super hard make it out to be. But it's not great.
I recently watched that time I got reincarnated as a Saiyan.
Oh, I
You ever
watched
seen
the whole
that?
first season. I watched the first season. I didn't watch the second season yet. I loved it. It was great.
It's really good. I like it a lot. I watched all of it. Rimuru Tempest is a G in the game. It's great. They even have the Slime Diaries. I'm looking at my Crunchyroll as I say this. I really like Black Clover. Have you ever watched Black
Uh,
Clover?
I watched a good chunk of it. I think it was like some witch was trying to get him to turn evil when I stopped. But I like Yami.
Oh,
Yami is the reason to watch that.
Captain Yami. Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
That's You're talking about when Vanessa goes to get his arms back.
I don't remember. I was drawing. Like I've drawn like five things in my life, and I just started drawing when I was watching it. So like right towards the end there, I was like pretty heavily into a specific drawing. But so I'm a little foggy on the end parts of it, where I left off.
Sure. No, you should finish it. It's good.
My
Um,
favorite part in that whole anime is like Yami is about to clearly get fucked up, and he's like, "That's tomorrow Yami's problem," and then just like went to go get fucked up.
you really should finish because I'm not there. There's better. It just gets better for Yami in particular.
I'm just happy you didn't say
Um,
Naruto.
I love Naruto, dude. Are you kidding?
Oh,
Naruto,
I watched all of Naruto and Shippuden just so I could argue with Naruto fans better.
like, okay,
I hate Naruto,
Naruto's
Sasuke, and Sakura. Kakashi's cool. The relationship between Guy and Rock Lee is wonderful. And Gaara's kind of cool. Oh, and
dude.
uh, Orochimaru is a good villain, and what's his name? Jiraiya was cool too.
I was gonna say, dude, when Jiraiya died, are you kidding? That
Um,
was like one of the first times, and I watched this. This would have been like 2013 type shit,
I
maybe
have
15.
I
When
have a
Jiraiya
meme
died,
for you.
yeah, meme.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite memes ever, and it's a Naruto meme. I can't show it on stream. It's definitely TOS, but
Let me see. How do you
I'm,
say?
I'm sending it to you in a DM. You're
Okay.
welcome.
Do you really not like Naruto? Are you just saying that?
And I don't really care for it.
Did is it because of all the filler crap?
I don't like the filler, which I skipped for the most part. I accidentally watched a couple episodes. I just Naruto himself is one of the most annoying characters in all of anime to me. Like, Believe It was like nails on a chalkboard to me. And then
Early on,
after Believe It, he started saying that's to other ninjas, mind you. That's my nindo, my ninja way. Nindo means ninja way. This cocky little prick was going up to other ninjas and fucking mansplaining them what like the most important personal part of being a ninja is.
but that's not the point.
It's
Like, you
just
can't.
very annoying.
The funny thing is like most of these the other one I was going to recommend or that I like to watch, not even recommend. You don't listen to know this whole thing. My Hero Academia.
I'm a huge My Hero Academia fan. I found out it just finished in the manga. I'd read and then let it build up. Well, I'd read, let it build up, and then I'd follow it for a couple weeks and then stop. In fact,
Where are you at now?
I might have missed the movie.
I don't watch
Uh,
movies.
Oh, I do. They're dude. The second movie was so cool. They're just not canon, so fuck it.
I just don't like a lot of non-canon shit. I gotta stay with the canon. Dude. That right there, stay with the canon, is why I re-listen to stream shit from all this stuff we've been discussing. My brain just gets on this like one-track mind, and I like can't deviate.
I think Deku just lost his hands. No, he just got his hands back. He just got them back.
Whoa. Hold on. That's like way early.
He lost, like they disintegrated?
Oh. No, No.
From going inside of Shigaraki's mind?
I'm on season 7, episode 159 is the next one.
I'm so sorry. I don't even know where I'm. I read the manga.
Oh, okay. So I don't read. I'm too.
Yeah, you didn't hear me say anything at all.
No, I don't. Here's the other thing. I don't mind spoilers.
Oh, okay.
Because you're gonna watch it anyways. Why do you care? I don't care. Like I really want to know what the hell the One Piece is. If somebody told me right now what it was, I'd be like, bet, and I'd keep on watching.
Luffy would be so disappointed in you.
Yeah, right.
The One Piece is about the journey to him.
I don't. To him maybe, but
don't you remember Rayleigh said, "Do you want to know if the One Piece is real or not?" And like somebody said, "Yeah," and he fucking punched him in the face.
He didn't punch, or maybe it was because dude, why is it whenever it comes time to remember a specific piece of information? Slingshot, Sniper King, Long Nose. What's his name?
Usopp.
Oh, thank you. Usopp is, I believe that's who said he wanted to know. Don't mess with my phone. Okay.
Did you watch?
Yes.
Have you seen Platinum End?
No.
Everybody hated the ending, but I liked it. It's the guy who made Death Note. The two guys that made Death Note made another anime, and I really liked it. I really liked the ending. People kind of hated it, but I liked it a lot. And also, if you haven't seen it, Steins Gate is a masterpiece.
I heard that. I have not. I start to watch it, and I'm like, man.
Steins
have you
Gate?
ever watched? Yeah.
See, so here's the thing. It is a slice of life anime until it isn't. And I tell people, like, you're gonna only watch like an episode a night or whatever, and then at a certain point you're like, oh, I'm not going to bed tonight.
PJ. So speaking, when you say called a slice of life anime, there's one on Netflix. The wedding one, my bride.
The stay-at-home husband one?
No, the mob. that one is fine. I watched a little bit of that. It's funny. I'm gonna pull it up now. It's the one. It's like a light novel.
Wait, are you talking about the Ancient Magus Pride?
No.
Because I say that's not slice of life at all.
When you say slice of life, what is that?
So for a while in Steins Gate, there is nothing to suggest that it isn't just like. Oh wait, maybe you're talking about My Happy Marriage.
That's the one. I just saw it.
I just looked it up on there. There's nothing about it that would suggest there's anything like
supernatural.
Where it have to be fiction at all.
Yes.
Yeah, it just looks like you're just watching these people's lives, and it's fun and it's kind of cutesy or whatever.
Happens.
Yeah, and once, so it'll pick up a little bit, but then all of a sudden it's like I have to finish the whole. About halfway through, a little more than halfway through this first season, you're like, I'm watching the rest of this right now.
I'm gonna probably watch that tonight then.
It is so good, and then luckily for me, I watched it way late, and Steins Gate 0 came out the next year. Steins Gate is so well written. It's a masterpiece.
Dude, there's
you'll
three
probably
more.
cry.
There's three that I'm gonna tell you that like. One is My Happy Marriage. It's 12 seasons. I felt.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry, 12 episodes.
Okay.
12 episodes. Sorry, my bad. I felt some kind of way when I first started watching it, like, why am I watching this? And then all of a sudden I was like, whoa, wait. Nah. And like, number 2 is Hajime no Ippo. Have you heard of that?
English name?
That's is the English name. Hajime no Ippo. Ippo is a boxing thing.
Oh, I haven't seen that, but I'm a big fan of and I didn't think I would be Megalobox.
I love Megalobox.
I
The third one
It's
is
the only time I ever
Vinland
falls
Saga.
into my one word. Oh yeah, Vinland Saga is 10 out of 10, and
Dude.
it's so weird because the
Yes.
second
1 to
season
2.
is
Yeah.
completely different, and then it's somehow
Yeah.
just as good,
And
but for
joins
completely
back
different
together
reasons. Yeah,
at the end. I was like, what are they doing? And then all of a sudden it was like I was like, is this the right show? Like, what am I watching? And then all of a sudden it was like, oh. And then you just Vinland Saga is like literally I've heard people read somewhere, people are like, did they just make the best anime ever?
I tell
And
people too, like it's grown men will cry when they watch Vinland Saga.
it's so good. Like
When
it
when
literally
he
is.
fights Asgard, but he's not actually like that like he even knows deep down he can't kill him because like he's basically his dad now. Uh,
Yes.
it's so brutal, dude. The
Yeah.
feels.
No, it yes, that is one of my favorite. And I get though to the point like right now where I'm like I need a re-hit. I need a re-up. I need them to like do more. And like it feels like it's going to be forever.
If you need really good anime to watch, Steins Gate is phenomenal, and also Code Geass. I told everybody that it's a perfect show with a perfect ending. And just like the only other perfect show that exists, it has a movie that takes place afterwards that doesn't ruin the perfect ending.
Really?
They'll be watching it, and like part of the way through, they'll be like, "I don't know, it's all right. It's not as good as you say." I'm like, "Where are you at?" I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, let me know when you get to the end of the first season, and then you binge watch the second season because you will after you get to the end of the first season, and then you can tell me how you feel about it." And they all agree with me by the end.
I'm gonna watch that tonight.
Oh, you can't see me, can you?
No.
It's funny if you asked if I watch anime. Now you can. I have Light Yagami here, and I have the protagonist of Code Geass here.
Nice.
People, since they're not fighters or whatever, people say like, who would win in a game of chess? That's stupid because Lelouch is a chess hustler. So I have them both holding a ghost stone because that would be to like really the intellect battle between them. It's a game that they don't have any former experience in. That's requires a high degree of knowledge.
Last one, and then I got the boys. One more button, son. Have you ever? What do you think about Hunter x Hunter?
Hunter x Hunter?
Got it. Good job.
Oh,
Yes.
I love Hunter x Hunter. I love Yu Yu Hakusho.
So what?
Yu Yu Hakusho. The guy that made Hunter x Hunter made Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, that's a different one. Wait, I read about dude. He like goes on these like crazy long like 10-year hiatuses, right? And he's probably about to pass away, or did pass away.
He didn't pass away. His wife is the creator of Sailor Moon, and so when he does die, she's set to take over Hunter x Hunter for him. He has issues with his back, but the real reason why he doesn't write though is that he suffers from the success of Hunter x Hunter. People love it so much, and it's so well respected. So he's Yu Yu Hakusho that he's like afraid of like putting out more and not having it be as good as what he's already done, which is infuriating.
What did you how did you feel the first time that you watched the not the damn what was that? Not the Cell arc, but kind of like the Cell arc. The King
the Chimera Ant arc.
Chimera, yes, Chimera Ant arc. How did you feel?
The best arc.
Yeah, well, I like the video game.
It's the second best one. The card game island.
Yeah, what did you call it?
The card game island.
Card game?
Yeah, because they had like the binders and stuff.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it was Gene's game that he created with his the friend people, whatever.
Yeah.
When I watched the Chimera Ant arc the first time, like yes, but the cat dude, I don't know why. When I go to remember names, my brain just goes blank. The cat that Gon killed at
It
the
starts
end.
with a P. Yeah.
Uh, uh, Pito.
Yeah, Tito. Yeah.
When Pito had like the chopsticks in the other hunter's head and was like learning about Nen through that, I kind of felt bad. And when they like were consuming the humans to like, I kind of felt bad. Like it was kind of weird.
Yeah, that's good anime. That's good writing. If you feel
And
bad,
then
it's making you feel something.
it was just kind of funny. But all right, well, man, I'll tell you what. Appreciate you having me on. I got the boys playing Xbox or something. I got to get him ready for bed. I appreciate. I'll tell you what. I'm going to take some notes, and maybe one day next week we can go over some other things.
Sounds good to me, man. What do I call you?
Uh, Big Red, Mike, either one.
Big Red. Okay. Mike, I'll call you Mike. All right. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks for
Mike
calling
works.
in, Mike. I
All
enjoyed
right,
talking to
man.
you.
Yes, sir. Likewise. You have a good night.
You too.
All right, buddy.
Peace
Bye.
out. It's a good chat. I hope next time he comes in, he'll have some notes. So we'll be able to go over that. In 4 days, I'll be streaming the election live on politics.tv from 7 p.m. to 11. I think that's it for me. After this game of poker, I am going to play Black Ops Zombies. Really, really having fun with that. I I thought about streaming it, but like I know nobody really watches me for any kind of gaming stuff. But then also last time I played a game, I played Silent Hill 2. Xander said he kind of wanted that, so I don't know. Um, so I do be playing a lot of video games and I'm not streaming. Uh, but I feel like it'd be kind of weird to like get people from me playing video games and having like a weird uh, like mixed community. Uh, but yeah, that's it for now. I'll probably stream in the near future.